Thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Your game is coming up next. But here's some information from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
6 easy ways to become an MVP. And by MVP, we mean most valuable parent. Like all of us, the parents of high school athletes tend to protect their children from adversity, or they overly involve themselves by advocating for their success. But when they do, they're negating the value of participating in high school sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent. But be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NC2A, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
For those of you joining us for the Brebeuf Braves versus the Guerin Catholic Eagles at today's second semifinal game, the start time has been moved back 5 minutes, so our broadcast team will be on site ready to broadcast in 5 minutes. Thank you.
And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of high school baseball here on Indiana SRN. Jimmy Cook alongside Steve McClure coming to you live from beautiful La Pinta Field. A lovely day for some high school baseball as the Circle City Conference Tournament is in full effect. Game 1 of the semifinals, make that game 2 of the semifinals, I should say, between the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles and the Rebuff Jesuit Braves. For the Golden Eagles, they come in as co-Circle City Conference champions with Roncalli. Got the 2 seed on the wrong end of a coin flip to decide that. 17-4 on the season are the Golden Eagles, 8-2 in conference play. Meanwhile, Brebeuf got here courtesy of an 8-1 win last night over Heritage Christian. They're 13-12-1 on the season, 5-5 in conference play. As I bring in my partner in crime for today's festivities, Steve McClure. Steve, 2 teams that are on slightly opposite ends of the spectrum standing-wise, but both playing their best baseball right now at the perfect time of year with postseason in full effect.
Jimmy, a pleasure to be alongside you for this Circle City Conference semifinal at Roncalli. And finally, Jimmy, the spring weather that we've been waiting for quite some time has finally arrived. 84 degrees here at game time. And yes, you're right. As far as these 2 teams are concerned, and all the teams among the Circle City Conference, they all know each other extremely well.
And it should be a fun day of action all around as we briefly take a look at how Guerin got here. They were the courtesy of the beneficiary, I should say, of the bye to get into the semifinals. They're on a 2-game losing streak coming in. They started the year 17-2, then lost their final 2 contests. One such loss actually happened here at La Pinta Field, a 5-3 loss to Roncalli back on May the 8th. So they're looking to get back to winning ways, but they're familiar with this field, as is Brebeuf. It should be a fun contest all around with Guerin Catholic sporting one of the strongest infields in the conference. Meanwhile, Brebeuf, they're young, but they can get it done offensively.
Yeah, and what's impressive about this Guerin Catholic team is their schedule. They always play up in schedule, and when you look at the places that they have played this year, including Notre Dame, Victory Field, and Purdue University, doesn't get much better than that.
How critical is it for a ball club like Guerin Catholic? Obviously, you look at the turnaround here with first-year head coach Rich Andriol. He's obviously had a lustrous career at Cathedral from 97 to 2015. He brings that experience, and they've had quite a turnaround from the 13-11 season they had last year, in part due to that scheduling you mentioned, Steve.
Well, it goes back to just establishing culture, what kind of a team you want to be, what kind of team you're going to be at the end of the season. So the development along the way, dating back to the end of last season, throughout the winter, and the training that goes involved, especially with guys that play nothing but baseball, Jimmy, they know what the message is, and that's where we are right now as we get set for the 53rd annual IHSA baseball tournament.
For Guerin Catholic, we'll take a deeper look at the starting lineups as we get closer to first pitch, but taking a look just at the pitching matchups, ace Matt Parento going on the mound for Guerin Catholic. He's had D1 looks already, 2-sport athlete, played basketball as well for Guerin Catholic. And on the other side of things, it will be Andrew Dukanich on the mound for the Braves, their ace as well. How critical is it for both of them to get ahead of the count early on?
Well, Dukanich, of course, is a freshman on this Brebeuf team, and that's what stands out to me, especially for the Braves in terms of what they have done this year, 12-13-1 on the season. But you look at the kind of close games that they have had, Jimmy, throughout the year, and Dukanich, taking the hill tonight on this very special night for Circle City Conference, and obviously they show a great deal of confidence in him.
Absolutely, and you mentioned it right there, Steve. That's kind of what Coach Scott had told us going into this ball game. He said that the pitching staff has been solid all year long, but they are, as you mentioned, a very young ball club. They've had to learn and gain experience, literally in a baptism by fire on the job throughout this entire season. He's been very happy with the strides they've made, and obviously you can't be much happier than a semifinal date here in the Circle City Conference tournament.
And Dukanich, along with his battery mate Luke Bauer, who is also a freshman on this Brebeuf team, they both played together as teammates on the Indiana Bulls during the summer months. So you can tell how much time they have spent together.
Anytime you can get that extra time in, you're always going to build chemistry. Interesting that you mentioned Bauer there, the junior commit to Dartmouth, playing D1 in the Ivy League. And then Sean Swenson, a senior, he's committed to play D2 at the University of Charleston. Other side of things for Guerin Catholic, we mentioned that Parenteau was getting D1 looks already. Sam Lewandowski committed to play at Bethel, NAIA action for him. So no shortage of college opportunities for both sides of the field.
And Jimmy, when you're going to go to the Ivy League in Dartmouth, you better have some pretty good grades.
Big time. Yeah, that both in the classroom and on the field for sure. Anytime you're able to get a D1 look, but you're right, Ivy League action there for Bauer going to Dartmouth. Both of these two programs definitely have experience in postseason play. Brebeuf more notable. Obviously, they've made it to one state title game about 7 years removed from that, but a number of sectional titles they've amassed. With this being the first edition of the Circle City Conference postseason tournament, how unique of an opportunity is this to get some extra reps before state tournament play?
Well, the thing about the Circle City Conference, and I think you'll agree with me, Jimmy, is the fact that it's still growing into its own. It's still relatively very young, but having these 6 teams as parochial schools in the city of Indianapolis, that's big because it adds a lot of things to baseball here in central Indiana.
Absolutely. You look at it being the 3rd season, I believe, of Circle City Conference play. And as you mentioned, still in its infancy, still a very young conference, but each one of these schools within the conference have been able to make strides. I think it's been a great opportunity to see the old rivalries that you would see get meshed together, like Roncalli and Brebeuf, or like Brebeuf and Chittard, or now new ones like Guerin and Brebeuf, all coming together because these schools decided, you know what, we want a piece of conference action. We want to be more collective community in central Indiana.
You've seen Guerin Catholic take their infield practice. They were a little bit late in terms of arriving for the start of today's game. That's why the game chart was pushed back a little bit, but just to catch up for our viewers in game number 1 today, Roncalli with an 8-1 victory on that win in the earlier matchup with Chittard. 8 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. 1 run, 5 hits, and 3 errors for Chittard. Again, Roncalli with the win and advances to tonight's championship game.
And now they'll await the winner of this one, as it'll be the Brebeuf Jesuit Braves and the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles. They'll be set to get things underway in just a few moments. We're going to take our first and only break here in pregame. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
In today's fast-moving business world, effectively marketing your company takes hard work, creativity, and the right team. With over 40 years of experience, PIP has been enabling companies large and small to find success in achieving their business objectives. We understand the challenges our clients face. That's why we have a variety of print solutions suited to fit your every need. Whatever your printing request may be, from a quick turnaround on a company brochure for an upcoming trade show, a direct mail piece that needs to be designed, printed, and mailed, to complex marketing projects, PIP is sure to have the right print solution for you. Nothing grabs attention like a well-crafted sign. It can transform virtually any surface into an eye-catching experience, boosting your marketing appeal. From banners, posters, floor graphics, and window decals, to wayfinding and yard signs. We not only help with sign design and getting it installed, we also integrate them into your overall marketing strategy, designed to help you win. PIP also provides best-in-class integrated marketing solutions to help you make the most out of your next campaign. Our approach to marketing ensures that your strategy is seamlessly executed across all media, online and offline, so your business always looks its best. At PIP, we understand it takes a team to achieve business growth, and that's why we're here to help. Get to know PIP and let us make your world a better place.
Welcome back, everybody. Steve McClure along with Jimmy King live from Roncalli High School in Indianapolis, Indiana, as we bring you this semifinal game of the Circle City Conference Baseball Tournament. Again, in the earlier game today, it was Roncalli getting by Chittard by the score of 8-1. Jimmy King, let's hear about our starting lineups today.
Thank you so much, Steve. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineups, starting first with the visiting Brebeuf Jesuit Braves. They'll be visiting on the scoreboard sheet. They lead off with the second baseman, number 9, Keenan Taylor. Batting second, the center fielder, number 8, Wes Gingrich. Batting third is Nate Bingman, the third baseman. Batting cleanup, the catcher, Luke Gingrich, number 12. At shortstop, batting fifth, number 10, Kenneth Ely. At left field, batting seventh, number 6, Braden Reel. At right field, batting eighth is Max Engelking. And batting seventh, Max Engelking. Batting eighth, the first baseman, Sam Lewandowski. And batting ninth, the DH for the pitcher, Matt Parento, Dominic Ferrucci. Rough Braves 13, 12, and 1, led by head coach Jeff Scott. Moving over to Guerin Catholic's starting lineup, they will lead off with their shortstop, number 4, Andrew Pickett. The center fielder, number 8, Gabe Wright, he is batting second. The first baseman, number 9, Shane Bauer, he is batting third. The DH, Sean Swenson, number 13, he is batting cleanup for Andrew Dokanich. Number 3, the third baseman, Jack Morokonik, he will bat fifth. The right fielder, number 6, Carl Meyer, he will bat sixth. The second baseman, number 2, Aiden Hartung, he will bat seventh. The catcher, number 5, Grant Farland, he will bat eighth. And closing out the bottom of the order, the left fielder, number 7, Anthony Ane, he is batting ninth. They are led by their first-year head coach, Rich Andriel, obviously coming from 18 years at Cathedral. Back in 97 all the way to 2015, posted an incredible 504 and 97 record there at Cathedral.
Jimmy, our pregame show is being brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. And beginning next week on Wednesday afternoon, the IHSA sectionals will begin all over the state of Indiana. And it was interesting to learn that Guerin is slotted into the 3A sectional at Blackford. Blackford will take on Yorktown in game 1. It'll be Newcastle against Hamilton Heights. It'll be Delta in game number 4, so against Guerin. Whereas Brebeuf will be hosting its own 3A sectional.
Always good.
And in that sectional, of course, it'll be Greencastle against Tri-West. Cardinal Ritter having an outstanding year as well, Jimmy, and they'll take on Danville. Brebeuf got a bye, so they'll meet the winner of game number 1, and that'll all transpire between next Wednesday and the following Monday.
Should be noted for both those programs, while Coach Andriel for Guerin Catholic has 2 state title wins under his belt, both at Cathedral. Guerin Catholic has yet to win a sectional in baseball. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the Brebeuf Braves, they've never won a state title, but they hold 14 sectional titles under their belt, most recently back in 2017. So it'll be very interesting to see how both those teams with new leadership, first-year coaches and Coach Scott and Coach Andriel, handle the postseason come this time next week.
Jimmy, you have seen Ron Colley play a lot more than I have this season, but of course they're slotted into the Class 4A sectional that we played at Holder Field, the home of the Southport Cardinals. Decatur Central against Perry Meridian, Ben Davis against Pike, and then Southport, Ron Colley. Ron Colley got a bye in that situation, so they'll take on the Cardinals in game number 4. But they've been kind of a team that's been up and down, but they played extremely well today.
You know, whenever Ron Colley has been in struggling situations, there's been times where they've faltered in the middle of the season. You mentioned that, Steve, that they'd have opportunities where they'd be in close games and they'd fall off. Recently, though, they've finally gotten back in the saddle. They've started rolling on the back of arms like Max Lundy and Eric Hummel. It'll be interesting to see how things unfold for them in tonight's championship game while they await the winner of our contest here between Brebeuf and Guerin Catholic. We'll have first pitch for you. After this, you're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Welcome back to La Pinta Field. A lovely, lovely day, around 83 degrees. So we get final preparation set up for this Circle City Conference semifinal action between the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles. They'll be the home team in white, and the Rebuff Jesuit Braves, the designated away team, the gray jerseys and the maroon numerals on your screen. Jimmy Cook alongside Steve McClure. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your weekend with us. It does not get much better than nice spring weather for a baseball outing, unlike the previous couple of weeks where it seems like all of central Indiana has been plagued by weather disastering the schedule left and right.
Yeah, and as I look down the left field line, Jimmy, we can see that the activity is beginning over on the softball complex as well. So if you want good sports, come to the south side today. There's plenty to offer.
Absolutely, and if you're not able to make it out this afternoon and you're wanting to stay with myself and Steve, well, we're glad to have you, but don't forget you can always come out here this evening for the championship game, and Steve, also, you'll be on the call for that one. First pitch.
It's going to be at 7:15, I believe. It's been moved a couple of different times, but my, oh my, the kind of weather that we've had in comparison, Jimmy, to what happened on Thursday here at Roncalli. I mean, it was a gully washer, and the field was not in good condition, and that prompted officials to move things of last night in the quarterfinals all the way up to Brebeuf.
Yeah, historically speaking, well, obviously this being my home park in La Pinta Field, being a Roncalli graduate, it is a beautiful field, doesn't drain the best in the state. So not all that shocked with how much of a monsoon like it was on Thursday. That was moved. Happy, though, they were able to get things sorted out for today. Field's dry, ready to go. Already got one game played and smoothed out. The Roncalli players able to get the field in good shape for the second semifinal. Couldn't ask for much better conditions.
Looks like the wind's going to be blowing out of the south-southwest at about 10 to 15 miles per hour in this 84-degree heat, which is welcome. But it is a gorgeous field, and the guys have done a tremendous job in terms of getting the field ready after what we experienced the last couple of days. In fact, they got more rain here last night, Jimmy.
It's been an incredible stretch of days weather-wise, the ups and downs and turns. Only in the Midwest are you going to get that kind of wide-scale variety.
Well, and I'm wondering exactly what may be happening out at the Indy 500 today, because this is the first day of qualifications, and normally drivers don't like it when it's this hot.
And not only if this hot, but they're also more worried about, again, the weather being up and down, things getting bumped all the way to Monday potentially to secure some final spots there in qualifications. The shortstop, Andrew Pickett for Brebeuf, takes a couple more practice hacks, gets set to step in, and Matt Parenteau is set up.
This first inning will be brought to you by Logan Street Signs and Bumpers. Call 773-7200, loganstreetsigns.com.
Pickett ready to deal. We're underway with a ball to start things off.
Parenteau got good size out there for Guerin Catholic, maybe standing at around 6'3", slender. That's what you like in a pitcher.
Pickett hitting .253 on the season, 19 hits and 10 RBIs. Ball dealt again by Parenteau.
Very, very important, these two first top hitters for Brebeuf, who have been applauded by their coaching staff all season long. So that's what you want to get the game started.
Absolutely. And if you're Brebeuf, 3-0 count to start off with. Can't complain about that. Strike dealt.
Jimmy, I like the way that Parenteau kind of hides the baseball as he makes the turn with his waist. Look at that.
Very savvy delivery there by him, but it does lead to 4 of his first 5 pitches being balls, and our leadoff walk for the Braves. Andrew Pickett will take first. Stepping in, the center fielder, Gabe Wright. Our first walk of the game. See how Parenteau responds.
Two guys that are about my size, Jimmy, standing up at the plate and mighty.
For Wright, batting .348. Pitch out, throw is wide over to first. Safe back is Pickett. Wright, we mentioned, batting .348, on base percentage of .488, 23 hits, 12 RBIs, 4 home runs on the season for Gabe Wright.
See if the Braves going to go to a little bit of small ball here by getting a sacrifice down, but looks like he's going to pull the bat back after that fake bunt on the first pitch.
And 6 of Parento's first 7 pitches, all balls. So that last one,
There we go.
again, struggling to find the strike zone here early. Good news for Rebuff, and the last thing you want to do with the leading home run hitter on the Brave side in Wright.
A little bit of frustration from Parento kicking that rubber and letting the dirt fly. So going to have to come with a strike here.
First critical juncture for Parento. Got it.
At last, the strike zone.
Able to locate it, and if you look at Parento as their ace, perhaps just getting a feel for the zone, getting comfortable out there on the mound as that one swung on, hit into center field, cleanly fielded and taken there by Wright. And Pickett will hold at first.
And Wright got the ball up in the air. Ball kind of just stopped almost midpoint and allowed for the center fielder to come on to make the catch and the first out of the inning.
That'll bring Shane Bauer up to the plate. Batting .400 on the season. 28 hits for him.
Pickett, yeah, go ahead.
Also a pitcher as well for the Braves.
Pickett getting about a 3 to 4 step lead.
Parento keeping a good eye on him. Foul back.
Good cut at it by Bauer. Going with that. Splendid day in Indianapolis. Thanks for joining us on Indiana SRN. Privileged to be alongside.
We couldn't ask for, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, much better conditions. I hope if you're watching at home, you're watching on a tablet outside and enjoying some of this good weather.
Oh boy.
As that one got behind. Almost hit
And
Bauer.
he stayed. Pickett.
Don't know if Pickett lost the ball.
Yeah, I think he did. So we're going to have a little conference at the mound and try to settle Parento down. But yeah, I think he lost the side of the ball because he really did not make an attempt to go.
Yeah, from his vantage point, I don't know if his first base coach himself were blocked by the umpire, blocked by Beckman, or if they were just a little miscommunication there or falling asleep over at first.
And the Golden Eagles catcher thought for sure that he was going. He kind of
everybody
surprised. He was surprised as he turned around. He did not go. So
Another ball in the dirt.
pretty
Parento's
good
struggles
velocity,
continue.
but his control is off right now. Just trying to settle in here.
Throw over to first. Pickett's back. First time I'm seeing Parento in person on the mound. The one Roncalli Guerin Catholic game I worked earlier in the year, it was Engel King on the mound. Didn't have the ace available that day, as that one is hit right back at the mound. Parento mishandles it, still throws in time, but it does move Pickett over to second in scoring position.
Parento really had a little bit of a slow start to get to it, and then he almost pointed the ball toward first base on the put-out. They still got him, so 2 down. Scoring 1-3 on that.
That'll bring up the DH for Dukanich, Sean Swenson. Swenson 7 hits, 6 RBIs, a .233 hitter.
Oh boy.
Parento almost hit him. Ball high and inside.
Better stay loose up there.
Gotta stay agile. Protect yourself at all times. Boxing rules applying here early for Parento. He throws back to second.
My.
Gets behind,
There we
and
go.
Pickett's gonna take off. He'll stand. He will decide to slide safe at third.
We're going to have to score that as an error
Yep.
on the throw by Parento. So now in excellent scoring position. Still 2 outs, but on to third. Extra pick it goes.
And if you're Parento, an ace mentality, obviously, even though things haven't gone your way right now, you need to get back into the moment knowing we're a pop out away from avoiding this run meaning anything, and a mistake away from potentially giving the Braves a 1-0 lead.
And again, Jimmy, with 2 outs, your whole focus, 100%, should be on that batter right now.
Absolutely. Can't pay attention to the runner 90 feet away. One foul back.
Just barely got a piece of it.
Count even. Six RBIs on the season for Swenson. Trying to make it 7. Another ball in the dirt.
Well, a lot of pitches, Jimmy. A lot of pitches here in the opening inning.
But unfortunately for Guerin Catholic, most of them balls all over the zone. That one a strike.
But yet, in all the troubled times that Parento is going through here in the top of the first, if you can get out of it, it's all forgotten.
Exactly. It's a minor footnote. Let's look back in the box score is nothing.
Yeah.
He'll deal to try to put it away. That one did not curve back. Parento thought he had him.
He's holding his ground there at the plate. A little bit of a crowd, and you got to admire that.
Stone face there for Swenson.
Yeah.
Count goes full.
Spreads out a little bit on the box.
Top of this first inning. Parento in the dirt, ball 4. So he walks him for his second walk of the game, and that will put runners on the corners with 2 outs.
So 2 walks here in the top of the first inning, not the way that Parento wants to start, and again, just some confusion going on, but thus far.
Jack Maroknik at the plate, the third baseman.
First left-handed hitter for the Braves.
There's a strike for Parento. Good note there, Steve. For Maroknik, a 265 hitter.
Another youngster on this team, only a sophomore.
10 RBIs to his credit. Foul that one back, a laser behind the
How's our camera?
third base side.
She's fine.
Teresa Coker manning the camera.
Thank you, Teresa. That was going her way, and I thought, uh-oh.
0-2, and Dukanich thought about the delivery and then decided to throw to first to check in on Swenson. He'll deal 0-2. Fouled back as well behind home plate.
2 of those pitches, Jimmy, good contact by Maroknik. You can just tell by the sound of the bat hitting the baseball with that aluminum. Solid.
It's a good sign early for the Braves. Foul back as well. So one important thing to look at if you're Brebeuf, not only were the balls adding up to the pitch count for Parento, but all these fouled back attempts, especially in this at bat, for Maroknik.
And again, as the temperature rises today and humidity is at about 65-70%, that's going to be a factor as well.
Parento, that one got way outside, but heady play there by Godfrey to jump up and catch it before got behind him.
His delivery, Jimmy, it's almost a little bit of everything. Overhand, 3/4. He mixes it up. That one straight overhand on a fastball.
Just missed, count 2-2. Interesting that you see all those mix-ups on delivery not staying true with 1 or 2 motions, whereas with Parento, 3 or 4, even 5 at times. We'll deal that one foul back as well. A true battle by Jack Maroknik.
Maroknik choking up a little bit on the bat with this 2-2 count.
Knows how important this opportunity would be against the co-champion of the Circle City Conference to get a run here in the first. 2-2. That one swung on. Will it drop down for a base? No, it will not. It's well read there and fielded cleanly by Taylor, and that will end the inning after 1/2 of play. We're scoreless with Guerin set to come up to bat. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
An absolutely stunning day here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thanks again for joining us on SRN as we get ready to head to the bottom half of the first inning. It's Guerin Catholic up against the Buff Braves. And once again with the play-by-play, here's Jimmy.
Thank you so much, Steve. Back here, level of Pinta Field, as the Buff Braves unable to get a run on the board despite having a runner 90 feet away with 2 outs. Also put a runner on the corner as well. Good battle there by Matt Parento to stay true. And for the Braves, they will send out Andrew Dukanich on the mound to start this contest. Leading off will be the second baseman, Keenan Taylor, for Guerin Catholic, the co-champions in the Circle City Conference.
Wow.
First pitch, a strike with high velocity on it.
Way to start the game.
Yep.
Dukanich has both of his feet, Jimmy, on the rubber, squared up. Look at him.
That one swung on and hit deep into center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Misplayed that time by Wright. And it'll lead to a leadoff double for Guerin Catholic. Lost that, I guess, in the sun.
Yeah, because
misplayed it.
He had the glasses down and started to drift over, but you could tell as the ball was getting in his direction that it was just not going to be able to catch up with it. So a good start here for the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles.
Leadoff double for Taylor. Now the center fielder, Wes Gingrich. First left-handed hitter for the Braves. He shows bunt. That one fouled back right in front of us. We talk about how quick Guerin Catholic has been in general across the board this season, holding a 17-4 record and for the most part dominating fashion, only challenged a couple of times, but that's one way to start a ball game.
21 games in the books for Guerin Catholic. 26 games for Buff. Again, the kind of interruptions that we've had with rain and all kinds of cold weather this year, it's difficult here in Central Indiana.
Yeah, I think it's been one of the more, at least in my mind anyway, challenging baseball seasons in recent memory due to all the fluctuations and weather changes. I mean, it's snowing as late as April 1st. I mean, you just don't see that. The teams, though, able to get as many games in as they can. Count reads 0-2. Gingrich settles in. Bit of a lead there off second. That one fouled off out of play, third base side.
Another interesting note, Jimmy, that I found out about this particular season and talking with the head coach for Lawrence North down at the Marion County Championship game at Victory Field is the fact that with the weather getting in the way, as well as the limited practice times, and AAU ball is involved with summer because these guys go off to practice with their AAU team on Wednesdays.
Right.
There's very little time for teaching. So it makes it hard on these coaches.
And it makes it even more interesting to see which teams come out of those challenges on the right end, because that really talks to your point, Steve, about how solid coaching is in one club versus another.
Exactly. So
how do you take advantage of the moments that are given to you with a hamstrung schedule?
The other thing that he pointed out to me is the fact that you may have a solid third baseman for the entire season on your high school team, but on his AAU team, he may be a shortstop, and therefore there's more complication going on there.
All kinds of different things at play. As a chopper hit down the first baseline, it's going to stay fair. Fielded cleanly there by Bauer, one away, but it will do the job of moving the runner and Taylor to third. Now 90 feet away from the first run of the game for Guerin with only one out against them.
Not exactly an official sacrifice, but going with a pitch and getting it to that side. So good piece of base running as well as hitting.
That'll bring up the third baseman, Nate Bigman. Quality play all around, as Steve mentioned there. See how Dukanich responds. The runner 90 feet away. First pitch strike.
Dukanich taking that stretch and looking directly into the third base spot to keep him close. And we're in the bottom half of the first, no score.
Dukanich low. Be interesting to see. We got to take a look at Parento responding to a runner in true scoring position. Last time he handled it well, but he had 2 outs to his credit. Now the pitching duel shifts over to Dukanich as time is called.
Ron Colley had a big crowd on hand this morning for that game against Chittard. Would expect that to be the same tonight.
For the Rebels, always having a host site team in play, definitely going to get a big crowd. But as you pointed out, got to give credit as well to both Guerin Catholic and Brebeuf. It's a bit of a drive for both teams, but still getting out here to support them on this lovely Saturday afternoon. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Big out.
Huge for Dukanich. 2 down. I'll bring up the catcher,
Number 12,
Luke
catcher,
Gingrich.
Luke Godfrey.
Make that Luke Godfrey. Correction. Dukanich deals, strike. Really been dealing with the high velocity on those first pitch strikes.
Parento able to get out of the inning for Guerin Catholic, leaving 2 runners on base. Let's see if he can match.
Dukanich deals, swing and a miss right by him.
Beautiful pitch. Changed up on the speed there and had him out in front.
He's 1 strike away from getting out of this one with a clean sheet as well. Brebeuf can't afford to make little mistakes that, say, Guerin Catholic can get away with, as that one's a laser hit into right field. And that'll score 1. Just a single for Godfrey. But he puts first blood on the board for the Golden Eagles.
And able to go the opposite direction on a fastball that was right in the zone, and he met it solidly. So 1-0, Guerin.
So you weren't sure if that leadoff double was going to mean anything, but it does end up being a difference maker for the Golden Eagles. Now Bennett Ely, he'll swing one, hit high in the air, well, but not deep. Fielded cleanly there by Ane to end the inning, but not before damage is done. The Golden Eagles strike first. They lead it 1-0 through 1 inning of play in this Circle City Conference semifinal game. We'll be back with more after this. You're watching the Circle City Conference tournament on Indiana SRN.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Indiana Sports Radio Network, proud to bring you this presentation of the Circle City Conference Baseball Tournament as we get nearer and nearer to the IHSA State Tournament that begins next week. The second inning will be brought to you by McIntyre Imaging. We take pictures of everything. Call 317-997-9570. And Jimmy, there's no one better than McIntyre Imaging. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Steve. As we're back here at La Pinta Field, where Brebeuf will send out there to lead off the right fielder, Carl Meyer. Time was called, so Parento's pitch will be waved off. Guerin Catholic able to use a leadoff double to score their first run of the game in that bottom half a few moments ago. Brebeuf looking to respond. They had runners on the corners with 2 outs last time. Got to Parento early. See if they can do the same here in the second. Swung on into right field and cleanly handled there by Engelking. One away.
On that ball, just kind of hung up there in the air and allowed the catch to be made. So one down.
Not a fortuitous bounce off the bat there for the Braves. That'll send up Aiden Hartung, the second baseman. He showed bunt. Fouled it back behind the plate.
Hartung has a younger brother on this team, Cole. And again, stressing the youth on this team is a miraculous thing for a team that has done so well.
Swing and a miss there. And you pointed exactly right, Steve. Coach Scott mentioned it as well, that they're a very young ball club. They've had to learn and grow on the fly throughout this season due to the youth movement that's on this roster. Only 3 players with actual varsity experience coming into this season.
And there's a called strike 3, so he's out of there. Yes, as far as the youth is concerned on this Brebeuf team, and I asked Coach Scott about this, the fact that, you know, when you can insert freshman and sophomore into your starting lineup as a dominant force, knowing that they're only going to get better in the years to come.
That's a beautiful position to be in, for sure. That first pitch strike there for Parento. He's, I don't know what he decided to change in between innings, but much more calm and confident in his delivery, back to the ace of old that we've seen throughout the course of the season. Just as I say that, that ball.
For both, Jimmy, both of these teams, Guerin Catholic as well as Brebeuf, it tells you a lot about what's going on even in the lower grades as far as 7th, 8th, and summer baseball.
It's always a fun process to see that maturation occur across any sport, but especially in baseball.
Yeah.
Staying alive and battling back there.
There's always someone waiting in line to say, when is it my turn? So
when you have a young collective like that, there aren't really many pole position holders in front of you, so to speak. You're able to just fight and compete and earn that spot. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. Strikeout number 3 on the day for Parento. He ends things easily to keep Brebeuf scoreless at the end of 1.5. Still 1-0. Guerin Catholic, they're back up to bat after this. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
Thanks to Rick McIntyre and McIntyre Imaging for their support of Christian radio and sports. Their service is capturing moments in time and images that provide a record of the celebrations, blessings, and gifts the Lord has given. McIntyre Imaging Products gives their clients a snapshot of life for family and future generations. You may reach Rick and his staff at McIntyre Imaging at www.mcintyreimaging.com.
Things moving right along here at Roncalli High School in Indianapolis for this Circle City Conference semifinal game between visiting Brebeuf and Guerin Catholic. And just a reminder to our viewers, the championship game for the conference will be coming up tonight on SRN. First pitch will be scheduled for 7:15, so come back and join us. Once again with the play-by-play, Here's my partner, Jimmy.
Thank you so much, Steve. That should be a fun one this evening, and regardless of which matchup that we end up getting, whether it is the co-champions in the form of Guerin Catholic and Roncalli battling for the postseason title, or whether it's the Young Guns of Brebeuf taking on the host site in Roncalli, it'll be a fun one for sure. I'll be sure to tune in myself, as you'll be on the call again for that one, Steve.
When we get an expanded minute, Jimmy, I want you to walk me through the way this conference ended up, because there were so many tweets and emails sent out that I got lost in all the shuffle.
Brandon Real, I should say, leading off for the Golden Eagles. He pops out for the first out of the inning. First pitch swing there. That'll bring up the right fielder, Max Engelking. So, to your point,
it might take an hour to explain this thing.
It might take a second.
Engelking batting from the left side. Guerin, of course, in their home white uniforms, trimmed in their purple and yellow. Brebeuf in their visiting grays with the maroon trim.
First pitch strike initially there by Dukanich. Evens it out with a ball.
Infield pretty much straight away, as well as the outfield here. King almost went for that one.
So to answer your question, as we have a second here, wait for this pitch, that one a strike to push the count even at 2-2.
But it came down to the two teams, correct?
It was set up between Guerin Catholic and Roncalli. Interestingly enough, Guerin Catholic and Roncalli would meet each other back at the start of the month in a away and then home stand. They would split that setup because Roncalli was able to win by 2 runs.
Okay.
The thought was that it was runs scored against was the mark, that they had surpassed Guerin for that, and as long as everything went true to close the season, Roncalli would be co-champions. Well, apparently it was thought on another end of things that it would actually be runs scored that was going to be the difference maker, and as a walk there for the Golden Eagles, that'll send Engelking down the line. Sam Lewandowski, the first baseman, stepping up to the plate. So anyway, it was thought it was supposed to be runs for. Guerin Catholic had a forfeit earlier in the year, so they had a 9-0 automatically put, as that's what a forfeit is scored in IHSAA. So there was disgruntlement between who was supposed to be the champion. It was ruled out to start the season there would be a 1-game playoff or anything to decide the champion. So instead, they decided to just honor co-champions this year due to the importance and the interest of fairness to both clubs.
There will not be a test on this, will there?
No.
Okay.
No reviews, no study guides needed.
What you're going to have to do, though, for the regular season conference championship is you take the trophy, you split it right down the middle, give half to you and half to you. But no, this is more important. We know who's here.
Absolutely. And so another note for those of you keeping track at home, as a swing and a miss for the strikeout there. More heat delivered there by Dukanich. Really feeling into his own on the mound, 2 away. Stepping up the DH, Dominic Ferrucci for Matt Parenteau. But when you look at things for those of you at home that should note, for the record books, the conference champions are Roncalli and Guerin Catholic. The conference tournament has no bearing on that. It's more like when you look at some of the mid-majors or any form of college basketball, is the analogy I like to use. You have a regular season champion, and that's what's there, but you also have a postseason champion as well for the conference, and this is what this would be. But it doesn't change who was on the top for the regular season. Even if we get that grudge match tonight, it'll still read Guerin Catholic and Roncalli 2018-2019 conference champions.
But the primary goal, Jimmy, is June 17 and 18 at Victory Field in downtown Indy. That's where the state finals will be for the 14th consecutive year and 22nd overall in a beautiful complex. And I can't believe it. The Victory Field is now 24 years of age, and it looks like it was born yesterday.
It's really wild to that point, as I remember just driving around downtown. Whenever I pass Victory Field, I'm actually a 95er, so
There you go.
I'm as old as the ballpark. I wish that I was not aging quite as I wish I was aging quite as slow as Victory was. That's going to be a tough play over at first. Safe. Wild throw there by the Braves, trying to get out of the inning. It was mishandled initially by Pickett. He threw over to Bauer, but he could not jump back into the path of Ferrucci. So that'll put runners on first and second with 2 outs.
You can almost split that error because both of the throw as well as just trying to handle the throw, because it was a hard throw. But in any event, still 2 outs, but runners at first and second now.
That'll bring us back to the top of the order, where Keenan Taylor had a leadoff double to start things in that first inning. The second baseman. He would eventually score the game's only run. We'll see what he takes for round 2 versus Dukanich. Short leads taken off by both runners for the Golden Eagles. Strike.
Freshman delivers a great breaking ball, and catcher, of course, Luke Bauer, also a freshman, going out to talk to his starting pitcher.
Tell you what, Dukanich has a chance to be pretty good by the time it's all said and done.
Oh.
Ball loose in the dirt, but it stayed right near the plate, so the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagle base runners thought better of it. Engel King and Ferrucci decided to stay where they were. Count 1-1.
Good decision. He fell down briefly and got back up, and that's what saved him.
Fortuitous slip for sure. 1-1. That one low. And honestly, you pointed it out initially, Steve, Dukanich, pretty strong delivery overall for a freshman. I mean, yeah, there's a couple things you're going to tweak there, and you're interested to see how his pitch varieties change as he grows in the program, but a good mold, as is the case with most of this team being so young. Chopper hit right in the shortstop hole, thrown over to second in time, handled cleanly by Hartung. Indeed, they did. It was close, but it does prevent any runs from getting on the board. So at the end of that inning, no runs scored by the Braves. No runs scored by the Golden Eagles. It'll send the Braves up after this. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
Thanks to Rick McIntyre and McIntyre Imaging for their support of Christian radio and sports. Their service is capturing moments in time and images that provide a record of the celebrations, blessings, and gifts the Lord has given. McIntyre Imaging Products gives their clients a snapshot of life for family and future generations. You may reach Rick and his staff at McIntyre Imaging at www.mcintyreimaging.com.
Welcome back, everybody. How's your Saturday afternoon going? This is a busy, busy weekend forthcoming as we head toward Memorial Day and the running of the 103rd Indy 500, which will be a week from tomorrow. And, Jimmy, this will be my 35th race.
Really?
35.
Congrats.
Let's play baseball,
That's awesome.
though, right now.
First pitch, strike, a swing and a miss there by the left fielder, Anthony Ane.
I will not be qualifying, though.
No?
No, not this year.
Oh, man. I would like to have seen that, though. I mean, if not for the the health hazards that would be thrown in there. As a chopper hit back behind the third base side, out of play.
Now, how would you like to take a ride with Mario Andretti around the 2.5-mile oval at about 200 miles per hour?
Can you imagine?
I don't think so. I can't even ride a Ferris wheel.
that's quite a step up.
Yes, it is.
I'll tell you what, though, it'd be so. Well, maybe pitch inside again that time by Parenteau. Push the count 2-2. Maybe you get into the virtual reality side of things. Maybe just put a headset on and experience it that way.
Well, I'm at one end of the scale, and my wife is at the other end of the scale. She wants to jump off mountains with wings on, or go around the speedway, so she can stay on that end.
Count full, swing and a miss. Down he goes, Anthony Ane. Strikeout number 5 by Parenteau on the day.
And Parenteau has found himself, hasn't he?
Indeed, he has. Quite a turnaround from the first seven of his first 8 pitches all being balls. Finally starting to get back into the swing of things. We'll bring up
good breaking ball.
We'll bring us back to the top of the order. Andrew Pickett, the shortstop.
Walked back in the opening inning, but was stranded.
Swing and a miss.
He's got him fooled right now.
And that's one of the things that we were worried about initially with how Parenteau's delivery was all over the place, is that when he's on, it's really tough to tell where he's going with it. Another strikeout, number 6.
Yes, sir.
For Parenteau.
That's 4 in a row, Jimmy.
Man, he is dealing. We cannot emphasize what a turnaround. And to build on that, Steve, as we see the center fielder, number 8, Gabe Wright, stepping in, the level of importance for Parenteau to get comfortable with how the weather conditions are supposed to get more hot and humid as the game goes on. So important to be back in a groove where you just feel like everything's going to be a strike when you deliver it.
Yeah, and over the last 4 hitters, he's been doing this with a minimum number of pitches, whereas in the first inning he was behind in the count on every single batter.
Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing turnaround by the ace. Parenteau, that's a laser hit into left field, diving to make the play. Indeed he did. What a catch there by Reid, putting his body on the line to end the inning. Well, that's one way to close things out as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning after this. It's Guerin Catholic 1, Brebeuf nothing. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
We are Sports Radio Network, Indiana SRN. Thanks again for joining us here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in Indianapolis. And we are at the Roncalli Rebels Baseball Complex today for the semifinal game of the Circle City Conference, already advancing to tonight's championship game that will air on SRN. The Roncalli Rebels today defeating Chittard by the score of 8-1 as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning with Guerin Catholic coming to the plate. Once again, here's Jimmy Cook.
Thanks so much, Steve. You mentioned bottom half for Guerin Catholic looking to add to their 1-0 lead. As that one's popped up into left field. Fielded cleanly there by Ane. No damage there by Wes Gingrich.
And for Dukanich, getting a first strike pitch there and the pop-up certainly helps him in terms of getting on with this inning. So
absolutely, especially the youngster, the freshman out there on the mound. Anytime you can get an early start to the inning, as you mentioned there, Steve, it will go a long way as he deals another first pitch strike, this time to the 3rd baseman, Nate Bingman. Right-handed hitter. Going low for a ball.
Things can change on a dime here, especially at this time of the season with these 2 teams in IHSA baseball, but somebody looking for a little bit of a spark here.
You've definitely seen it more often than not by Guerin Catholic over the course of the season, but you've got to give credit as that one's fouled back behind home plate. You got to give credit to the Braves because they've had a tumultuous season as well, being such a young ball club. But as Coach Scott mentioned to us, they've learned from every single experience and grown stronger as the season has gone on. There's a strikeout for Dukanich.
I tell you, the freshman dealing right here and getting these first 2 outs of the inning against Guerin Catholic, which is a powerful team in terms of their offensive prowess, but right now 2 down.
And to further build off that, you look at the ace and Parenteau on the other side of things, minus that one run, he's matching pitch for pitch essentially in this pitcher's duel is Dukanich. For the freshman, that's quite a bar to set for yourself.
Steps out momentarily. This third inning being brought to you by Noblesville Trophies. Call 317-773-7391, noblesvilletrophies.com.
Strike taken there by the catcher, Luke Godfrey. His second time through. Got an RBI in his first at bat. Back in the first, only run of the game. Chops that one back.
Got a good breaking ball. It hits the inside and it'll catch up with it just a little bit there. 2 down in the inning.
What's impressed you the most so far? You've seen a lot of baseball, far more than myself, Steve. What's impressed you the most so far about the freshman at Dukanich?
Well, again, I just think he shows so much confidence, and I watched him in his initial warm-ups on the side and the kind of communication that he was going with his pitching coach as well as his catcher, and that tells me a great deal about his thinking as far as approach to the game.
Very critical to be one step ahead as a freshman, to want to get that extra guidance, as the swing and a miss had to throw over to first to throw out to end the inning. Another strikeout there for Dukanich, and after 3 innings of play, it is still 1-0 Guerin Catholic. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament here on Indiana SRN.
Today's games brought to you by Shin Technology Service Corporation. Technology is about humans and not about machines. Dave and his crew has provided 27 years of software needs. Give them a call. Shin Technology Service Corporation. You may reach him by phone at 317-545-3650 or shintechnology.com. For more information, contact Dave, 317-545-3650.
And welcome back, everybody, on Indiana SRN. Steve McClure along with Jimmy Cook as we come to you live from Roncalli High School in this Circle City Conference semifinal on an absolutely stunning day. And Jimmy, we got a good pitchers duel going on between Guerin Catholic and the Brave Buff Braves as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning, and the top half of the 4th as we begin play. Jimmy?
And you mentioned that pitching duel, Steve. Parenteau, and you correct me if I'm wrong on this, 4 of his last 5 batters he faced, all strikeouts. And the last 2 batters that on the other side of things Dukanich faced strikeouts as well. So they're reeling and dealing. Just 1 run separates the two. That first run scored in the bottom of the 1st inning by Guerin Catholic, coming off a leadoff double from Keenan Taylor. And they're taking that first pitch is Shane Bauer, the first baseman for the Braves.
And Jimmy, when you get 2 pitchers like this, here's a ball hit into right field.
See if it's going to drop in for a base hit. It will. Might be extra bases as well. Bauer running for 2, and he'll get there standing with a leadoff double. That's how Guerin Catholic scored their first run back in the 1st inning. Let's see if it has similar success for the Braves. But you were saying, Steve.
Yeah, what I was saying is the fact that when you got 2 pitchers dealing like this, it really speeds up the pace of the game, and that's why we saw the 2nd and 3rd innings kind of zip by us. But this leadoff double could be a big factor for the Braves to get this thing tied up.
Well, the DH, Sean Swenson, will step up to the plate for the Braves. 6 RBIs on the season for him on 7 hits, a .233 hitter. Reached on a single.
They must think a lot of him to be hitting in the cleanup spot, so averages don't mean anything really.
Especially not at this age and when you're at this point in the season.
I kind of feel the same way about rankings. I don't put much stock in them.
Yeah.
It's just something to talk about.
Good for us, though.
It's kind of bragging rights, I guess you might say.
Another pitch inside. Looks like he's trying to get that to curve back, but we've yet to see Parenteau really get that to come down for him. It's been high and up. for most of the batters he's faced. That being said, he's been nearly flawless the rest of the way, but it's been that pitch particularly. Deal again, that one in the dirt. Pretty generous lead there taken by Bauer, but he runs back quickly as staying in front of that was Godfrey. Swenson, one of the 2 players that has varsity experience coming into this season for the Braves, otherwise a relatively young team, also committed to play D2 ball at the University of Charleston next fall.
That's a baseball-rich school.
3-1, did it hit him? It did.
Wow.
That'll move. It will let Swenson take his base. All right, so keep Bauer right where he's at. So they'll have 2 on, no outs, and brief conversation on the mound with Brento.
And Swenson, again, hugging the plate there and didn't move his ground, but clearly hit him on the inside of the chest there. So he's okay. Now lefty coming up in Morocco, and a real threat here.
Yep, Jack Morocco, the third baseman, set to come up. And Steve, I mean, you mentioned it. I'd be diving left and right out of there. We got stone faces all around for Buff, just staying true like statues. Each one of those pitches, you have to see somebody try to dive down and get out of the way. The old adage of taking one for the team, the Braves living by that in this young roster.
And again, if you take a look at Morocco in terms of where he's standing, he's only about 10 inches away from home plate, so he's almost up on that chalk.
He shows bunt. That one fouled back third base side. I wonder if that's if that is true stance by the Braves, or if it's something.
Yeah, I think it is.
Just to try to maybe mess with Parento's delivery.
Yeah, I think he's very comfortable up there at the plate in terms of his anchoring where he is.
Third baseman again shows bunt. Infield in. He pulls it back.
Nope.
Nope, he did not. And throw over. Almost got him.
What a throw.
Just behind Pickett. And lucky to get back there was Bauer.
Really making a nice play
to
get the ball down. And what a terrific throw. Godfrey almost got him.
Just a second off there. And the Braves just barely biting the bullet. 0-2 delivery, swung on, that'll drop in for a base hit. Let's see if they send him. Bauer rounding third, throw home is not in time. Down cleanly is Bauer. It'll be a
RBI single.
RBI single there, and I'm slightly surprised as now standing on second over there is Swenson. I'm surprised that nobody else tried to take any extra bases at the throw home, perhaps because of how short it was. They were worried about getting thrown out the other way, but either way, tying the game on that RBI single.
Well, the shortstop for Guerin Catholic did not really go out deep to get the cutoff there, and that really prevented the runner at second base to keep a close eye as to where the ball was coming. And by then, when the game came home, certainly he was safe.
Carl Meyer, the right fielder.
Still no one out here, Jimmy. Ray Buff threatening. Here in the fourth.
Well, we did have a pinch runner in between
ball gets away.
Pitches as ball did get away and safe again.
Oh, he is playing with fire out there, isn't he?
He is.
Down on one knee, taking a deep breath.
The pinch runner, Cole Hartung, the brother of Aiden Hartung, he swapped in there for Swenson.
Anticipated that.
So Swenson almost gets thrown out. Then they bring in a DH, or they bring in a courtesy runner, and he almost gets thrown out at second.
Yes, he did.
Everybody taking fair leads off of first and second.
Yeah, Morocco hitting that 0-2 pitch. Going the opposite way into left field. Great piece of hitting there. And the RBI.
Especially against Parento.
Yep.
Again, Parento keeping the...
Swenson having quite a time out there.
Yep.
Going to have to get a new uniform after today's game.
They're keeping everybody busy on the bases.
Yeah, you see the first baseman charging, the second baseman moving on over to first to cover, and everybody in motion. Here we go again.
He'll deal 2-1. Bunt shown. That time, strike 2. Quick look over at the bases by Godfrey. Everybody will stay at first and second.
Imagine coming here with a fastball with a 2-2 count. Needs an out.
See if he goes with it. Try to
Breaking
swing it
ball.
back. It's behind him. Bounce right off of Godfrey. Runnels will advance. It'll bump Moroknik over to second. It'll put the courtesy runner in Hartung at third. And no outs. The Braves suddenly in an amazing opportunity to try to jump out in front in this ball game.
So we've seen a wild pitch here in this inning, allowing the runners to move up second and third and in scoring position. 1 run is in here for Brebeuf.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 ending that at bat there for Meyer. That'll finally put one away for Parento. He needed that for sure, and that'll bring up Aiden Hartung, the brother of Cole Hartung, the third base courtesy runner now.
Every time Parento gets in a little bit of trouble, he brings the K's to presence, so that's his 5th of the game.
Answer right back. That one was a low ball. It brings, I mentioned Aiden Hartung, the second baseman, up there.
Struck out looking back in the second.
No RBIs for Hartung on the season, should be noted. He'll lay down a bunt, and that's going to be fair ball. It'll be the first RBI of the season for Hartung. A beautiful bunt. The Guerin Catholic defense decided to try to let it roll foul. It did not go their way, paid the price. 1-run scores, and for the first time in this ball game, the Braves on top of Guerin Catholic 2-1 in this Circle City Conference semifinal.
Jimmy, this reminds me of a story that dates back to the 1960s when the Los Angeles Dodgers had Maury Wills leading off the game and Junior Gilliam behind him, and the Dodgers were always accused of doing a little gardening as far as the chalk was concerned to make sure that those sacrifice bunts stayed in play. But that's exactly what happened here. 2-1, Brebeuf.
Very fortunate are the Braves, and just bad luck there by the Golden Eagles. Fortunately, the Golden Eagles can rest easy knowing that the Braves didn't have any insight here at La Pinta. But nevertheless, it's always a fun moment to see when teams decide to just try to let it roll just a little bit more. Not that time, though, for Guerin Catholic, and the Braves, suddenly a 2-run 4th, are in command with still runners on first and third and 1 man out.
Rich Andreol making a quick visit to the mound, and as soon as the home plate umpire got to them to say, hello, let's go, the mound meeting met. Here comes a runner.
Throwback at home, got him out. They threw to second, then back home.
6-2.
Trying to catch him napping was Jack Moroknik, but Godfrey was having none of it. Great communication there as well by Taylor. They play catch with it, able to do some damage control there, and suddenly the threat is only on second.
Strong,
2 away.
Strong arm there at shortstop, bringing it home and cutting off that run.
Ball low in the dirt. Thinking about taking off there was Aiden Hartung.
So 2 down in the inning, but the Braves had pushed across 2 runs to take a lead here, 2-1. At La Pinta Field at Roncalli High School.
And that is the important thing to take away from this juncture of the game, because not only is it incredibly important for Parento to get out of this with just now 2 runs on the board, but also if you're on the Brave side of things, you could have really used Moroknik getting 1 more on the score column especially against a Guerin Catholic team that is as deadly on offense as they are on defense. Strike three. Parenteau dealing to get out of the inning. So the throw out from Taylor to Godfrey to throw out Maroknich as he tried to steal home, able to stop the damage, and the strikeout seals the deal, but not before 2 runs were scored as the end of 3.5 innings of play. The score reads the Rebuff Braves 2, Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles 1. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Welcome back, everybody. Steve McClure along with Jimmy Cook here at Roncalli High School for this 2019 Circle City Conference semifinal game between Guerin Catholic and the Rebuff Braves, who have just gone ahead by the score of 2-1. This inning brought to you by College Hunks and Movers. Moving what you want, removing what you don't want. Give them a call. Once again with the play-by-play, here's Jimmy.
Thank you so much, Steve. As at the plate for the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles, the shortstop, Bennett Ely. Count 1-1 for him. Ball low in the dirt and then fouled off that last one as we see what Dukanich, the freshman, can do out there for the Braves now that he's nursing a 1-run lead in his back pocket, courtesy of the damage done by the Braves. We alluded to it in that top half of the fourth, though, that Guerin Catholic just as confident on the offensive side of things. They drop in there for a base hit into center field as they are defensively, and it shows right there is just like that, a leadoff single to get things going for the Golden Eagles.
I don't know if this weather has anything to do with it, Jimmy, but again, that ball was kind of held up. You see the wind is blowing from right field to left out there at the 380 marker, and again, just kind of held up there and let it drop.
This time the Golden Eagles, the beneficiaries, as the left fielder Braden Reel steps in for the Golden Eagles. Second time we've seen him today. Time called. Now he's back in there, shows bunt. He'll lay that one foul back. Hit off a home plate.
It's one of my pet peeves, Jimmy, in terms of bunting skills at the high school level. It just is not what it should be. And that tells you what's going on at even the lower levels. It's a fundamental thing that should be handled. There
that
you go.
one
That's
popped
better.
up. It's going to drop down and move the runner potentially. Another throw over instead. What a play there by Dukanich. He looked over at first, decided I can go get the scoring position runner instead, and a nice play there by Hartung to lay down and tag the runner to stop what would be a scoring position play for the Golden Eagles.
He really got a good look at that because, as you said, he hesitated for a moment. You could tell, though, that he was going to go that way, and that's a heads-up play right there for a freshman.
We've been saying a lot of that today.
Yep.
A lot of heady plays made by the freshman as that one's hit over in the second base hole, thrown over for one. No, it's mishandled, and that's going to be an error.
Yep.
Throw over that time by Hartung to Pickett. Pickett lost it. It was a quick one-handed throw by Hartung, but Pickett couldn't gather it. Tried to throw over to first. It looked like he got ready to throw over to first before he secured the ball.
Yep. So now we're going to have a mound visit for Brave Buff, and they're going to come out and talk things over now with runners at first and second with still only one out in the inning.
And if you're going to have this conversation, now is the time to do it.
Yep.
As you mentioned, Steve, runners breathing down your neck if you're Duke Kanich, and the freshman has looked strong throughout so far, but against we talked about it, the co-champions in the conference, you cannot afford.
Here comes a replay of the last
to give them
play.
a chance to score.
Here you go.
That throw out that stopped
Beautiful.
another run from scoring. Great shots all around by our Indiana SRN team, and solid play there by Godfrey and Ely to throw out Marakinich last inning.
Kind of a dust up there at home plate.
Yep. And that's going to be a play that we look back on throughout this ball game, depending on how much damage Guerin Catholic does here. That's a 2-run cushion instead of just a 1-run lead that the Braves have. After that meeting,
Kenny's stepping off the rubber and letting them know he's going to a little conference now with his catcher.
Talk a little bit more.
Now, Dukanich was able to really whiz through that third inning in lickety-split fashion, but a little bit of trouble here, but no damage yet. Pretty good lead out there at second.
Generous lead indeed. And Dukanich, though, confident just to stay in and let him be focusing on the batter. Again, another solid mindset there for the freshman. Can't worry about the runners all the time. Got to control the out at the plate. Strike by Dukanich.
Yeah, Dukanich and his catcher, again, watching the signs go down, and he's not going to look back until he's ready. Now on the stretch.
Fouled back. It'll be popped up. Will there be a play for it? Nope, it'll drop just in front of the Braves dugout. A sprint over there by Farlander, as well as the first baseman Bauer.
Get a new baseball and throw one out.
Back to action we go.
Oh, beautiful
pitch. Strike three.
Oh my.
Man, what a delivery there by Dukanich.
Had a bender, didn't it? That
Jeez,
is the fifth strikeout for Dukanich, and more importantly, the second out of the inning.
And the first baseman, Sam Lewandowski, sits down on that strikeout. That'll bring up the DH for Matt Parenteau, Dominic Ferrucci.
So Ferrucci reached on an error back in the second inning, but was stranded.
He was swinging for the fences on that first pitch. Another first pitch strike there by Dukanich. It can't be understated how impressive momentum-wise it'd be for this Braves team if Dukanich can rally behind already having runners on first and second, coming all the way back to put things away. Still a couple pitches left to deal to get that decision, but poise by the freshman and both those mound visits appear to have been helpful for him.
And during the season, Jimmy, these two teams split 1-1. So
there's strike for Dukanich. They'll throw over to first. Did he get him? No, he's safe. Looks like he might have blocked the plate on the gather.
He saved a run there.
Indeed he did.
Good play.
Could have very easily gotten behind Bauer.
Yeah, because he was halfway between second and short. Getting ready to head toward third, so.
0-2 count after that. Dukanich to end the inning. Swing and a miss. Strike three is called. Dukanich reeling and dealing. Guerin Catholic leaves runners on first and second, and the Braves hold true to that one-run lead. At the end of 4 innings of play, it's the Braves 2, Golden Eagles 1. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament Championship on Indiana SRN.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Send out a congratulations and a thank you to our executive producer, Jerry Collins, here in the booth with us today for bringing us a spectacular weather days. Thank you, Jerry. As we head to the top of the fifth between Guerin Catholic and Brebeuf, now leading by the score of 2-1. Here's Jimmy.
Thank you so much, Steve. The Braves showing poise all around for a team that went 13-12-1 in the regular season, just 5-5 in conference play. They hold a 2-1 lead in this one as that first pitch is fouled back by Anthony Ane.
Yeah, at the bottom of the order there.
The left fielder trying to potentially add to this advantage.
I was watching Parento as he made the trip from the dugout to the mound. A little bit of a wipe off of the brow in terms of the heat, and you got to wonder at this particular time in terms of any fatigue setting in.
And on top of that, it's been interesting because last inning, and again, you can't obviously control the way the cloud coverage goes as it pushes the count to 2-2 even, but the last couple innings, Duquesne has been the beneficiary of an overcast, and then it seems like more recently Parento got the sun beating right down on him there on the mound. The ball's high, pushes it full.
I mean, he's been in control, six strikeouts, and still trailing by 1 run here to the Brebeuf Braves. So they're going to have to go back to work here as soon as they get to the plate again.
That one fouled back, first base side out of play.
But with a guy like Duquesne in front of him, that's a tough task.
The only flip side there for Guerin is even though the pitch count continues to rise for Parento, you have to feel confident with him still there on the mound, haven't had to go to the bullpen, and who will blink first in this duel is the real question. That ball was ball 4 either way, but it got behind Godfrey, and it leads to a leadoff walk.
So that is the third walk given up and 1 hit batsman. So again, Brebeuf starting off an inning here with the leadoff man on. Yes, sir.
Back at the top of the order, shortstop Andrew Pickett. He's showed bunt, fouled it back. Only 1 successful bunt today. That was the roller that just went fair for the Braves by Aiden Hartung. That would lead to their second run of that 4th inning. All the rest of them either been fouled back or led to outs of some kind recorded.
Of course, all the attention is focused on this semifinal game with Guerin Catholic and Rich Andriol, and Parento, of course, has pitched a lot of innings this year, and you just wonder if they do get to the championship game, who will be their starting pitcher?
Yeah, tough decision to make if they're able to come back in this one. Just a short time span to make that turnaround.
Yeah, first things first, though.
Gotta advance there indeed.
17-4 on the season for the Golden Eagles. 13-12-1 for Brebeuf, and again they split during the season.
Showing bunt once again there is Pickett, and he fouls that back as well. Count 1-2 now. Behind in the count is the shortstop. Runner on first is Ane. There from that leadoff walk. Parento trying to right the ship for Guerin Catholic and keep this a 1-run game. The Braves trying to add to it. Get closer and closer to a huge upset.
You gotta say it is thus far. So Still a lot of baseball to be played, though. And, of course, Guerin is the home team. They'll have the last ups.
Always feel good to get the last say. Let's see how much damage is done before we get to that point. Parento deals that one in the dirt.
Just being a little bit too careful, I think, in terms of his selection of pitches. He's gone to the breaking ball much more than I anticipated, especially at this late going.
He really hasn't been trying to blow by guys like he was in the early goings. You're exactly right, Steve. Deal 2-2.
Once again.
Out back. First time we've seen that curve back in like he wanted to, but being pesky at the plate, it's Pickett.
A little bit of a slider there, turning the other way, so. Kid's got good form, though.
No denying that. Short lead by Ane. 2-2, swing and a miss. Will they get 2 out of it? Throw down. Safe. They'll say he just got under it. Man.
That was close, wasn't it?
Well, sometimes it's good to be lucky, and they're gonna change it. Gonna have a brief discussion about it, and they're gonna change the call. Say that.
What was that? I was
thrown out
pointing.
was Ane.
See that thumb right there?
Yeah, you knew it. You knew it from your vantage point here next to me.
Well, I've run the bases so many times. I knew he was out. So
they have a brief discussion about it, and it turns into a double play for the Golden Eagles. A much-needed double play at that.
Yes, sir.
Base is clean.
So we'll wipe off the SB off of my score sheet, and how about making it a 2-4 or 6 was it? One of those. Anyways, 2 down.
That'll bring center fielder Wes Gingrich. Strike thrown there by Parento. He's starting to get back into it.
This Godfrey's got an arm, doesn't he? Behind the
And
plate.
he does. True precision all around, all the throws he's made.
One of the most versatile and welcomed position on the field because he's got to be in every pitch.
Every pitch, every steal, every play.
Every thought.
Exactly. And to Godfrey's credit, both of those runs, the one was the collective decision by the infield and him to let the ball roll, and it went fair, and then the other one just not enough on the relay throw to throw out the tying play as that ball is swung on and hit in left center, going back and making the catch. There is Gingrich to end the inning. So the Golden Eagles leave men on. They still hold a 2-1 lead. We'll head to the bottom of the fifth to see what Guerin Catholic has to answer. After this, you're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
Back here at La Pinta Field on the Roncalli campus in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thanks again for joining us on SRN. We want to point you in the direction of our social media on our network. On Twitter, we can be reached at Indiana SRN, like Sports Radio Network. We're all over Facebook as well, and we'll try to keep you up to date as far as our schedule is concerned and what's happening here in the greater Indianapolis area. We've had a terrific season as far as sports on our network, including football, basketball, baseball, and you name it. We've covered it all. As we head to the bottom of the fifth, once again, here's Jimmy.
Thank you so much, Steve. Bottom of the fifth inning, 2-1 lead for the Braves. Their ace out there, the freshman Dukanich. He is wheeling and dealing so far. They'll have to deal with a Guerin Catholic team with plenty of bats to try to knot things right back up. As first pitch is a ball outside, up at the plate for the Golden Eagles.
Top of the order.
Top of the order is the second baseman, Keaton Taylor. takes that first ball, calls time. And to your credit about the Indiana SRN Twitter, without a doubt, the most beautiful graphics packages in the state of Indiana. I feel confident saying that.
There he is, right there
Jerry,
next to me.
Tip of the cap to you. As that one gets behind third base, or right beside the third baseman, I should say, for a leadoff single. So Guerin Catholic has done this a couple times today where they've had a leadoff runner on, been able to take advantage of it one time, obviously that one run back in the first inning. See if they can do that here. That's been the key to so much of their success this season. They are the co-conference champions after all, 8-2 on conference, 17-4 on the season. We'll bring in Wes Gingrich, the center fielder, up at the plate. He shows bunt. That one hit right back to the mound, but it's fielded cleanly that time by the third baseman. Does move the runner. Steve points out a sacrifice bunt there. It'll move the runner to second, and it'll send Gingrich back to the bench. But Taylor now in scoring position. Tie this up, potentially a base hit if he can get around. Would score it and knot us up. Nate Bingman, the third baseman, will have that opportunity. Just one away, so they'll get at least 2 cracks at it. Cage deals.
Oh,
that
boy.
one hit right into the gap into center field, and we're going to see if that scores a run to throw home. It's a good throw, but it's just out. Now they'll throw over to second, safe as well. So heady base running all around by the Golden Eagles. Scoring is Taylor. The throw, just like the throw attempt by Guerin Catholic defense back in the 4th inning. It was short, didn't get a good bounce off the LaPinta Field grass, and we're all knotted up at 2.
And after striking out in his 2 previous at-bats, it is a single and another RBI for him. And the game now knotted at 2 apiece. So, again, jumping all over that first pitch, Jimmy.
Luke Gottfried up at the plate, and Steve, we've talked about all game long the freshman mentality of Duquesne. How does he respond now knowing you have one away, but you've given up a couple of hits here? You've given up the tying run, and the leading run is now in scoring position at second base. Where's that versatility?
Yep.
No action in the rough bullpen right now. Let's see what happens for Duquesne. Conversely, some action going on in the Guerin Catholic bullpen is the last we've seen of Parento. Unless that's just him down there getting loose still. I can't
Let me get
see
my
the jersey
glasses
from down
on
there.
It's like number 5, Jimmy.
That is number 5, Max Engelking. That was who I saw in the Ron Colley broadcast a couple weeks ago here at LaPinta Field.
Okay.
So he has experience on this field as well. It's a very deep pitching staff for Guerin Catholic.
Yeah, if you can have 4 and 5 guys that are listed amongst your pitchers, that says a lot for IHSA baseball and your own team. So
it's very interesting. They're going to go with Engelking here. Even more curious now to see who's going to get the start if they are able to come back and win this evening. It'll be a interesting juggling of different balls in the air for Rich Andriol.
Ron Colley's got a pretty deep staff as well. They got 5. Shuttle, of course, went the distance in that earlier game, allowing just 6 hits on the day for Chittard.
Just that one run in the last inning.
The last inning.
You mentioned it, breaking the shutout, always one of those where it's like, we'll take the win, but hey, it would have been nice. At the end of the day, though, Ron Colley, like you mentioned, just like Guerin Catholic, just like everybody here, on to bigger and better things, a conference title perhaps, and then getting back to the ultimate prize at Victory Field.
Through 3 innings, Ron Colley had a 2-0 lead, and then they put some separation between them by plating 4 runs in the 3rd inning, and that pretty much said Katie bar the door for Chittard in the game. 8-1 was the final.
I'll tell you what, that's what you want if you're Aaron Kroll and his staff.
Oh, yeah.
They've had a hard time putting teams away and getting those extra runs. The strike dealt by Duquesne to push the count to 2-2. To be able to have that, it's all about clicking at the right time. Yep. Any time postseason's around this corner, any sport, but especially so in baseball, to have high chemistry all across the field and know that you can separate at any given moment. Duquesne deals. That's a chopper.
That's a tough play.
Popped over to shortstop. He throws over to first. Safe. Tough play to make there for Pickett. He threw to Bauer, but just off by about a second. That makes the difference there. Puts runners on the corners, first and third, and just one man out.
Yeah, Pickett had to move to his right and made the long throw. It was close at first base, but now Guerin really threatening here. They have tied the score, and Jimmy only one out in the inning.
If you're the Braves, you're hoping like nothing else that maybe you could turn a double play ball here, as Bennett Ely, the shortstop, gets set to step in, and will we have a pitching change, or will it just be another meeting?
I think we may get a change here as Coach comes out to discuss things. Jeff Scott, this will be the second time out to discuss things with Duquesne. What I started to say to you, Jimmy, is the fact that for Guerin Catholic in their favor, this is the third time through the order as far as the batting order, and perhaps the Golden Eagles are now starting to pick up a little bit on the pitching techniques of starter Duquesne. So again, conference continues at the mountain.
It should be noted during that conference that a courtesy runner for Guerin Catholic, it'll be Gavin Morrow, courtesy running for the Golden Eagles.
Yep.
He'll take over for Godfrey, which also, if you're Guerin Catholic, that's going to put Morrow, or maybe not Morrow specifically, but you're going to have somebody else behind the plate now, catching the rest of the way, perhaps saving Godfrey up for the evening showdown.
We'll see if Duquesne can get out of this thing, as Coach Jeff Scott will remain with his starting pitcher here in the fifth inning. All tied at 2 apiece.
I don't hate the move. It's different if it's early in the season, trying to get more confidence with the freshmen. It's interesting this late in the season, but still true confidence, and it's one of those plays where if it pays off, it'll do a heck of a lot in the long run for Duquesne.
Yeah, and when you look down at the bullpen for Brebeuf, there's no one there. So, again, that was just a conversation between the head coach and all of the infield as well as the pitcher to just say, let's go, let's get this guy out and move on.
Morocanic got a good beat on it, but it just evaded him, going foul past the railing behind third base side. Count 1-1. Have no safety net, rolling live is Duquesne.
That is the 6th base hit given up now by Duquesne. 3 in this inning, Jimmy.
Hence the damage that's been done already by Guerin Catholic. Might try to add to it. The second time we've seen Duquesne do one of those where he looks over at third and then throws to first. Didn't pull the trigger the first time, does so there, so keep the runners guessing. Ready to deal 1-1, and he hit him. Hit him right in the head.
Right in the back of the helmet. I think he's okay.
Yep, the helmet doing its job there.
They'll check on him, though, here. Make sure. But he turned, and thank goodness for that helmet.
Yep. Say that again. So it'll load the bases up.
That ball really got away from Duquesne on the delivery. It was way high. So, again, big threat now for Guerin.
You have obviously a force at any base, but that run gives the lead to Guerin Catholic just 90 feet away. Only one down. The delivery, that ball's high, got behind him, play at the plate. No, everybody's going to go back, and they're not going to find a runner at second or first to throw out, as everybody got ahead of themselves and pumping on the brakes there.
Well, you can thank
What's the third base runner? Yeah.
Bauer as well as Duquesne as far as jumping out of their spots to cover here. It's just a short distance, so Jimmy, between the home plate and the backstop here, so that did help them a little bit.
Indeed it did, as Bingman hit the brakes and everybody else had to do such as well.
Yep.
The backstop, like you said, helps Guerin out. Everybody's safe.
Got him a good bounce there, so.
Kanich, he's really starting to throw some heat and finally some activity going on in the Brebeuf bullpen.
Yeah. Get an eye on him, see what
Looks
we
like
got
number
now.
14, Sam Reid.
1-4 it is. Good eyes. See my binoculars.
Hey, you got to have them handy. Helped us out the last time, as that's a throw home.
Got him.
Did he handle it? No, he dropped it at the plate.
Oh,
Mishandled there by Farlander, and a run scores. It was a chopper hit right up to the third baseman, and Moroccanich, he had to go low to get it. Threw home to Farlander and could not maintain it. So 1 run scores, and just like that, in the blink of an eye, the Golden Eagles back on top 3-2. And should be noted, damage not done there as Max Engelking steps up to the plate, the left-handed batter. It should be noted, base is still loaded.
And on that fielder's choice, still runners at first, second, and third.
And more heat thrown there by Dukanich. Seen 3 of his last 4 pitches be fastballs, high velocity on him. Trying to power his way through the inning.
Sam Reid, of course, in the bullpen for Brebuff. Another freshman, Jimmy.
Man, one just pitched by Dukanich, and that speaks to the youth there, Steve, that we've been talking about. All game long, a large variety of freshmen, sophomores in their lineup and on their roster. That pitch is fouled back, so it favorable count here for Dukanich. Count 1-2.
Through the first 4 innings, Jimmy, the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles have only left 3 on, so that tells you a great deal about the pitching command of Mr. Andrew Dukanich. But he's in trouble here.
Could use a strikeout in the worst of ways. Dukanich, 1-2. Just missed.
Oh. So big pitch coming up here. It's a hitter's pitch.
See what he'll go with. Runners lead. Got him. Big time pitch by Andrew Dukanich. Sneak it right past him.
Number 7 on the day as far as punch outs are concerned, and taking a looking, second one of the day. So that makes a big difference here.
The first baseman, Sam Lewandowski, now. Still bases loaded. Pitch that's popped up into shallow center. It's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score, and they will hold up at third base. So damage truly done this inning by the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles. They've put up 4 on the board here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and they lead this thing in commanding control, 5-2.
And Lewandowski really going after that first pitch and driving it into right center field. Again, the ball just kind of hung up there and finally dropped. So neither one of the right or center fielders could get to it.
And you've been painting that picture all day long. Just been hanging up at times, and whoever's been on defense, they have been the ones that have been the victims of more runs or more hits landing. That time, both for Guerin Catholic.
And it's more so, Jimmy. It's a heavy air out there. That's what it is. So humidity up and temperature up, that makes the combination kind of lethal.
Max Engelking, make that Dominic Ferrucci will pop one up into left field, and that will end the inning. Handled cleanly by Ane, but not before the damage was done, by the tune of 4 runs for the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles. They take the lead back heading into the 6th inning. After this, it's the Golden Eagles 5, the Buff Braves 2. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
I think the best thing that our ministry offers is that when the women come in and they are pregnant and they've reached our scan dates, which are 6 weeks, 4 days to 14 weeks, we're able to image them with ultrasound.
Seeing the image on the screen and hearing a heartbeat clarifies that it is truly life and not just a clump of cells.
You can see babies sucking their thumbs. You can see them running their hands over their heads.
It shows them what God is doing on the inside that they don't feel or don't even think is real, but they see a real image of a real baby on the screen.
It just breaks my heart when a woman, no matter what her circumstances are, that she decides to end that intrauterine pregnancy, that she decides that she's better to go on her own without that baby.
Welcome Welcome back, everybody, at La Pinta Field on the campus of Roncalli Campus High School in Indianapolis. This inning being brought to you by Berkner Electric. Short circuits can zap you, so play it safe with Berkner Electric. Jimmy Cooker, we're going to get a pitching change. Tell us about it.
Yep, so the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles will end the day of Matt Parento. 6 strikeouts by my tally for him.
Correct.
2 earned runs, and they will put out there the number 5 Max Engelking will be dealing for the Golden Eagles. I had mentioned that we had seen him earlier in the season over on the Rebel Media Network for Ron Colley's home radio crew, and he looked sharp despite the fact that it was in a losing effort. He looked strong throughout that time as a starter, now coming in here with a 3-run cushion in relief. His first pitch, that's a first pitch strike, swung on by the Guerin Catholic, the Buff Edges Braves' own Shane Bauer, first baseman.
So Parental doing an outstanding job for Guerin today, going 5 complete, and now they'll turn things around and put a lefty in there. That really creates some whole different situations for Brebeuf.
Everything in terms of knowledge and brief muscle memory you've got to turn it all around, scrap it away, get adjusted to what Engelking has to offer.
Yeah.
Fouled off by Bauer.
I always figured that lefties had the advantage, no matter what the score was.
See if that holds true here. Yeah. Such a rarity. Look, even in, just for instance, the free agent market in the MLB, for instance, so often do you very rarely see left-handers contracts up, and when they are, everybody's scooping in to try to add them because of that unique factor. Chopper hit the third, throw over to first. Handled cleanly there by Lewandowski. Bingman with the throw over, 1 away.
And with the minimum wage in Major League Baseball today, Jimmy, at around $1.2 million, you could still have a record of about 1-10 and still be picked up.
Yep.
If you're a
crazy.
lefty.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
The unicorn of baseball. As Sean Swenson back up there for the Braves. The DH.
But it's still the only game, Jimmy, that you cannot call timeout as far as ending the game or making a difference. So, you know, you got to go the distance here.
Yeah, I guess, in terms of American sports, that's about it, I guess.
The clock doesn't run out.
Yep, you don't have to worry about that.
So, play on, my brothers, play on.
Well, there's a strike to push the count 2-2. And even at the major league level, they've started to phase out more and more mound visits and making the game faster.
In fact, aren't they giving the automatic ball 4 now?
I believe so. Yeah, once the violation is
that's another
occurred
rule
on mound visits.
I have to get used to over all these years, but I guess it speeds up the game a little. Here's a shot.
That one's going to be creamed but foul down the third base line.
Yeah, it used to be in Major League Baseball that you had to deliver 4 balls and the catcher would get on the outside of the plate and they'd take a little toss back and forth and possibly the ball could get away. So we've seen some hitters over the years try to step into a pitch like that and drive it, but it's an automatic now. 1 out. We're in the 6th inning right now. Guerin Catholic up on top of the score of 5-2.
A couple other lineup changes to note specifically for Guerin Catholic. Not only is it a new pitcher out there, but the DH, Dominic Ferrucci, has moved over to left field. That one fouled back right in front of us. Good thing for that netting. Quick reflexes there by Steve. So Ferrucci moving over to left field. It'll send Braden Reel over to right field. And then stepping in to take some swings will be Engelking. So he bats for himself. No DH. They move that and put Ferrucci out in left. It'll be a walk by Engelking.
Appreciate the assistance of the Ron Colley staff today with their courtesies in terms of keeping us up to date on the changes made here in the inning, as well as the fine food that's being offered here at Roncalli. So come on down and enjoy it.
There might be a little bit of bias as we wait for Jack Morochnic to step up for the Braves. Might be a little bit of bias on my end, but no better high school dog than a Roncalli, the Pinta Field high school dog.
I asked the young lady down there, I said, are you grilling them up? She says, absolutely. Come on.
Exactly.
Come on down.
Exactly.
I tried this cheeseburger. It was good.
Grab yourself something off the grill and enjoy some baseball at La Pinta Field. Beautiful day for it as that strike pushes the count even at 1-1.
A little bit of a smoke glaze of those hamburgers and hot dog coming up our way. So, wow.
That one hit right back at the mound. They'll try for 2. Not 1. Double. Oh, no, they'll say safe. Just high was the throw as Lewandowski could not get his foot down, and good speedy play there by Morochnic.
Don't forget now, we're going to have our championship game coming up here on Indiana SRN tonight. Pre-game will begin at 7:15 and the first pitch at 7:30. So come back and join us.
And regardless of who's in there, you're going to want to tune in. But if it does turn out to be Guerin Catholic and Roncalli, like we said, they both were co-champions. The winner does not instantly become conference champions, but it's bragging rights for both classes and both clubs, regardless, to capture the postseason title and end it in true grudge match fashion. So that one
again, to get the cream coming to the top with the seeds 1 and 2, and if you want the best game, that's what it's going to be.
Absolutely. Going to have a hard time finding any better contest in Central Indiana this evening. Count 0-2, fastball delivered by Angle King. Short lead off first. Swing and a miss. Angle King dealing in relief.
Awesome.
Able to end the inning. So 1 left, no runs scored by the Braves at the end of 5.5 of play. Guerin Catholic coming with the bat, leading 5-2 over Brebeuf. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
Craving comfort fresh food made from scratch daily? Check out Aspen Creek Grill. Located across from Hamilton Town Center and beside the Holiday Inn, we offer family farm-raised premium Black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer, and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
Welcome back, everybody, on Indiana SRN, and our way of communicating to you, besides this voice and this picture, go to our Facebook page on Indiana SRN, and we will keep you up to date on all that is happening around Central Indiana, and in addition to all the information and the upcoming sports that will be broadcast on our network. It's been a great year, and we appreciate everyone for staying with us all year. The support has been fantastic, in addition to sponsorship like Aspen Creek Grill. Try the Pow Pow Chicken there, and that is Aspen Creek Grill in Noblesville. We were out there for the first edition of Indiana SRN's The Sports Zone, which comes your way every Thursday afternoon at 5:30 to 7, so come join us. Once again, here's Jimmy.
Thank you so much, Steve. Bottom of the 6th inning here, and as Keenan Taylor takes a ball, an interesting move by the Braves, despite the fact that we did see some movement in their bullpens. Andrew Dukanich staying out there here in the bottom of the 6th. I don't know how much of that is, with the rules on pitch counts and just getting your money's worth out of Dukanich, or just trying to have him work his way out of a
again, these
day.
kind of pressure cooker situations is what he's going to be facing as he hits the sectional next week. So
might as well do it now.
Give him, let me see, 1, 2, 3, about 4 days good rest.
Yep.
And if he is to come back in that opener, or if they'll save him for perhaps game 2.
Interesting to see how that unfolds. He's behind in the count, 2-0 prior to that foul back.
Carl Meyer was the starting pitcher last night for Brebeuf. Of course, they were playing Heritage in an 8-1 runaway, and they went with Meyer as well as Chase Golden. So those two will be well rested as well.
Dukanich deals, dry, pushes the count even, 2-2.
So Dukanich again, 7 strikeouts on the afternoon, but boy, oh boy, that 5th inning was really, really damaging.
That one fouled back, and to your point, Steve, we'll look back at it and say, was it a matter of Brebeuf just not having anybody there in time warming up? Is it a situation where you regret leaving him out there? I mean, you could argue it either way. At the end of the day, Brebeuf just on the wrong end of the Guerin Catholic bats, and otherwise spoiling a really solid outing for the freshman.
And Jimmy, I would have to just point to maybe one thing as far as the turnaround for Guerin Catholic in the 5th inning is the fact that it was the 3rd time through the order.
Yep.
And going against Dukanich the 3rd time around, well, that makes a difference.
Anytime you can see a pitcher for a 3rd time through, you're going to be more comfortable with it, and especially a team like Guerin Catholic, a laser dribble all the way into the shortstop hole, throw to first, in time.
Beautiful pickup at first base and 1 out.
Good work there by Bauer to scoop it up. 1 away. Next up for the Golden Eagles. Taking a walk up is the 3rd baseman, Nate Bigman.
Well, let's see what we're going to have here. Another conference at the mound, and I think we may get a change, although he's going to talk to him. His starting pitcher and Coach Scott staring at each other.
Body language to me makes it think he's getting pulled.
He's taking the ball from him, so
Yep.
we're going to get a change. And looks like that's going to be, is that 14 coming?
It is.
Sam Reid
Yep.
coming out of the bullpen, and he is a left-hander for the Braves.
Another freshman, as you pointed out earlier.
Yeah, he's a big boy as well. So Dukanich with an outstanding outing today, just not good enough, and he just ran into that 1 inning back in the 5th when Guerin was able to push across 4 runs to take this 5-2 lead.
And I tell you what, with Dukanich, you mentioned how impressive the outing was outside of that 1 blemish, but I would even go a step further and say, you hear we have a young team, we have a handful of freshmen that are getting mound action, and you look at Dukanich and the poise that he had. Yeah, this one stings. You would have liked to have pushed your way to the championship game. Obviously still time to do that, but you would have been like to be the workhorse there. You pointed it out very well, Steve, that worst case scenario for him, even though this one is tough right now, he can learn from it and be ready to go come sectional time should his number be called. And not only that, grow further as only a freshman. Well, he will with 3 more years of varsity play.
And Jimmy, of course, next week on Wednesday when the Class 3A sectional gets underway, that will be hosted by Brebeuf. So they will be back in their comfortable confines on their campus, and they got a bye in that round. So what more could you ask for?
Not a bad beat. Nope, that's not a bad beat at all.
Again, you got Greencastle and Tri-West to open, Ritter against Danville, and then Brebeuf will wait until probably Friday before they get into action. And the championship game will be the following Monday. So a lot to look forward to.
2-hole Wes Gingrich at the plate. The center fielder swings and misses for strike number 1. First pitch of the day for Sam Reid. He'll deal that one, hit over to 3rd base. Handled cleanly over to first. Bauer holds. 2 away.
Great job on the defensive end for Brebeuf. And the first batter to Sam Reid retires on a couple of pitches. So 2 down.
Good roll for the freshman in relief. Now he'll deal with the 3rd baseman, Nate Bigman. He fouled that one back. Just over the dugout there for Guerin Catholic.
Our thanks go out to the Morales Group. Thanks to the Morales Group and their support of Indiana SRN. Building futures 1 story at a time.
Just outside there on that pitch by Reid. Bigman steps back in. Reid himself, as we mentioned, another freshman on this very young staff for Brebeuf. Young all around. Most of their team, freshmen and sophomores in the lineup. Strike called. Pushes the count even. Nice delivery there by Reid.
He's got good size too, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Reid deals. That one swung on
It's
down the
gonna fall.
left field line. Fouled it for a base hit. Might be a double. He'll have to get down. Throw is not in time. Just off. Quality base running there by Bingman. A gamble by him, but it pays off in the end. And so you got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. See what the Golden Eagles can do. Let's see how the Braves respond defensively as Luke Godfrey, the catcher, steps up to the plate.
Second double of the game for Guerin Catholic, won by Taylor back in the first, and now this 2-out double here in the 6th.
Reid deals low.
Godfrey at the plate today, Jimmy, with a couple of RBIs.
Been a solid outing all around for him. Done solid work behind the plate.
Especially behind the plate.
Mm-hmm. Talked about his importance, and anytime you have someone that's fully experienced and knowledgeable in the catcher role, arguably the most important position on the field, done a tremendous job catching for Parento earlier today. And Angle King obviously now in this relief in the top half of that inning.
Again, when you see, Jimmy, the fact that Parento, along with his catcher Luke Godfrey, both seniors, so the leadership provided from them at the top will take you a long way.
Anytime you can have a matchup like that, you're exactly right. It's a blessing for sure. An added luxury for Guerin Catholic, as there's another strike delivered by Reid. Count 1 and 2 now.
Just trying to shorten things up here and get this third out and get one more opportunity at the plate.
Yeah, keep the damage at 3. Reid takes a look over at second. He'll deal. That one fouled back.
One thing I noticed also about this Roncalli baseball complex at La Pinta Field is it is a hitter's background in terms of all that greenery you see in center field. So get a good look at it.
Used to be even more so than that before, thankfully, from a noise standpoint, we had the barrier walls, the noise walls applied. That one goes foul. Remember, just still when I was here, 6 years ago now, man, the walls there on 65 were not present. Had a lot of extra noise, extra environmental hazards to deal with. Now you got the wall, and that sets up the beautiful greenery, as you point out there, with the trees.
Going north and south, we see the very tip tops of semis.
You can still see those semis.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Used to be able to see exactly when a FedEx truck was going by. Now you can only guess and just see the top there.
Yeah, the big wall there is the separator, and does help a little bit as far as the noise is concerned.
I know the neighboring houses and the students here as well, especially if you're ever doing outside for gym class or the case may be, or just at practice after school. Definitely appreciate the noise cancellation.
So there had to be a kind of a south side clamoring to get that all done, right?
Oh, yeah. Long time coming for that, for sure.
All right.
Neighboring houses along Roncalli, the school itself as well.
The people rule.
Exactly. Your voice matters. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, the call. Solid performance there by the freshman Reid in relief to keep the damage at 3 runs. They'll have one more crack at it here in the top of the 7th to try to rewrite the ship. It's Guerin Catholic 5, Rebuff Braves 2. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Circle City Conference semifinals, and we are coming right down to it as we head to the top half of the 7th inning with Guerin Catholic up on top of Brebeuf by the score of 5-2. And if you're wondering, you can see this game on demand as well as all of our sports presentations on our Indiana SRN website as well as our SRN YouTube channel. So come and join us, rewatch things, and get the thrill that we do as well. Let's go to the top of the 7th. Here's Jimmy.
Thanks so much, Steve. Top of the 7th, last chance for the Braves to try to move on to tonight's Circle City Conference Championship game. They'll start things off. Leading off is the second baseman, number 2, Aiden Hartung. Dealing out there still Max Engelking in relief for Parento. First pitch, a ball. Obviously can't get it all done in one swing, but if you're the Braves, first things first, need some base runners.
And they've been without a hit for quite some time. The only 3 hits of the game, Jimmy, came back in that 4th inning when they scored their only 2 runs.
Been a dry spell for sure. His first strike of the inning dealt there by Engelking. Count 2-1.
Engelking trying to close the door here.
Hartung makes contact on it. Popped up into shallow right, calling off and handling that there was Reid. 1 away.
Yes, sir.
Now stepping up to the plate, Grant Farlander, the catcher.
All right.
Get close to the bottom of the order. Batters 8 and 9 to close things out potentially for the Braves if they're not able to get a runner on. Fouled back for strike 1.
Farlander still another one of those freshmen in this varsity squad for Brebeuf.
Tell you what, if the culture stays true to Coach Jeff Scott's plan, this is going to be a team not to be trifled with here in a couple years.
And I believe that they only have a couple of seniors on this team. Jared Bourne along with Sean Swenson, who's a starter, but all the rest.
Aiden Hartung, the last one on there. Other than that, that's it.
Underclassmen.
Yep. Count even, 2-2. Farlander trying to give the Braves a base runner to work with. Swung on, fouled, first base side out of play. Count holds.
Interesting windup for Engelking, and kind of comes from a 3/4 angle there, and has a really good breaking ball as well as a changeup.
Keeps you on your toes.
Mm-hmm.
Engelking deals low. Count full.
Fastball down in the zone, but missed.
Payoff pitch. Strike 3, they say. Inside, but got the edge of the zone. 2 away. So the Braves down to their final out.
We have hit the 2-hour mark as far as the game is concerned. We got started a little after 1:05, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 hours for this 7-inning contest. Not bad.
Anthony Ane takes a strike, the left fielder. Bottom of the order. Last hope for the Braves to try to extend this game. Engelking deals. That one outside, 1-1. Remember, the winner of this game goes on to play the host team, the Roncalli Rebels, this evening for the Circle City Conference Championship. Rebels moving on courtesy of an 8-1 win today against Bishop Chittard. Count 2-1. Engelking in the dirt, 3-1.
First time he's been behind in the counts. So even though there are 2 outs, there's always hope here.
Just got to keep the game alive and extend it. All relies on the bat of Ane. Engelking deals high, ball 4. So there's 1 runner on.
First walk given up by Engelking. He has 1 strikeout.
And the flip for the Braves, it brings them back to the top of the order. So they'll get back to some heavy bats. Andrew Pickett, the shortstop, Batting .253, 19 hits on the season coming in. Angle King deals. Strike right down the middle, right by him.
Hasn't been an overly successful day for Pickett, but he's played well in the infield.
Pickett fouled that one back. Now down to their final strike. Angle King looks over. 0-2. Laser foul out third base side.
Just a reminder that the softball complex busy here at Ron Colley. And they've had a great year as well. Tremendous year.
Coach David Lauk always maintaining a strong ship over there. 0-2 delivery. That one a ball outside.
And early this year, Aaron Kroll for Ron Colley got his 200th.
He did.
Win, correct.
Against these Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles.
And Lauk was up into the century mark as well. So, Georgia Heck, oh my.
1-2 hit him.
That'll extend it.
So now the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Gabe Wright. And also it should be noted, Gabe Wright, again, it's a smaller sample size, obviously, in high school baseball, but he's the home run leader for the Braves, has 4 on the season. Obviously, they've played 26 games, so 4 for 26. Not exactly we need to watch out marks, but still power in play for the Braves. As good a chance as you'd ask for going into the inning down 3 runs. See what they can make of this. Let's see how the Golden Eagles respond.
Just a brief little meeting at the mound as the conference breaks up in a hurry. Infielders resume their positions and ready to go to work is Angle King.
Angle King deals. Just missed for a ball.
Well, thanks again to all of our sponsors for making this Indiana SRN presentation possible today.
Right, got all that. Hit it into left center on the run.
He made it.
Making the catch.
Or did he?
To end the game is right. No, they're going to say he
It's
did.
Gone.
Oh, it got over him.
It's gone. Oh,
well,
my.
there's your game-tying home run. It got over the glove by mere inches.
And just as you had indicated, Wright, the leading home run hitter on this Brave Buff team, the last moment, and it looked like the thing was going to be caught, and all of a sudden, goodbye.
I tell you what, the way that Gingrich came down with that, it looked like he had it, and then the conference on it, and Gabe Wright, his 5th home run on the season.
3 RBIs to tie the game at 5.
Knots it up at 5 apiece.
So you want
My goodness.
So you want to go extra innings?
Hey,
we
nothing
will
wrong
if we
with
have
some
to.
extras at LaPinta Field. Braves still with some opportunity here.
My, oh my, did he get into that thing. Just kept going, didn't it?
It did. And that's the first time today where the wind has not played a factor of keeping it in the park.
And again, American flag straight down, so that was all him.
All right.
Did you hear the crowd come alive there?
The Braves faithful really did.
And the dugout for Bear Buff going a little crazy, so good reason why.
Man.
Never say never, right?
Absolutely.
Here we go. Brand new game.
Gabe Wright, his 5th home run on the season, as Shane Bauer, the first baseman, now up there. Wright, along with the rest of this Braves team, he's actually one of the leaders there in terms of both experience and grade level. A junior is Wright. And a walk.
And it continues.
For the Braves.
So now a walk, a hit batsman, a home run, and now another base on balls with all this with 2 outs. Crazy.
Can't make that up. The meeting at the mound will take place now for Guerin Catholic.
Pitching coach coming out for Guerin Catholic to talk things over with Angle King. And, of course, Jimmy, both starting pitchers are off the hook now with the game tied. The Canage for Brave Buff and Parenteau for Guerin. So we'll start all over again. And you can see this conversation that's going on with the coaching staff and their players, and that's a serious look.
What a turn of events for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
Yep. Engel King had, like I said, had a fairly decent outing his last time here at LaPinta Field. It did end in a loss, but no home runs given up then, and having the 3-run cushion despite all that. Give credit to the junior Gabe Wright making a play. His 15th RBI of the year and 5th home run, as we mentioned. It'll bring up the DH Sean Swenson for the Braves with the winning run at first base.
Well, Engel King had given up a base hit in the 6th inning, but no damage done there on the force out at shortstop. And then now, with 2 outs, thinking this one was all over.
He deals inside his 3rd straight ball.
Every player up on the front row there at the dugout.
Throw over, not in time.
Andy Gossel, the head coach for Covenant Christian, arriving here on the scene. They will be involved with the next game, Consolation. Will go up against Heritage Christian. Of course, Covenant Christian made it all the way to the City Alliance Finals at Victory Field a week or so ago and put up a heck of a battle against Cathedral in that 2-0 loss.
It was a thriller for sure.
It was indeed. So again, a little bit of a delay here, and Engel King appears to be ready now to go back to work.
Lead off of first for the Braves, and missing again there is Engel King.
I'm still seeing that ball, Jimmy, rise into left center field on that home run that appeared to be was going to be caught, but
just got past
shade
the glove.
over. Look out.
That one's popped down the line, and
got it.
That one's dropped.
It's in fair territory.
In play, so we're going to get a run scored. Yes, and that'll be the ball game.
Wow.
The Braves.
Guerin's going to get a time. They're the home team. Are they not? So they are, yes.
So that'll push the lead to the Braves, but nevertheless, they'll still have damage to be done with a runner now on second and a 1-run lead. A 4-run total top half of the 7th inning.
And Reid making a tremendous try coming toward the line. He had to come a long way. The ball was in his glove, but his momentum shook it out of his glove and it dropped. But it was in fair territory, so that allowed the runner to come all the way from first to home. And now Brebeuf has a 6-5 lead.
And an interesting decision there by him to go ahead and run for that, because it looked like it was going to curve foul.
Yep.
A high-risk, high-reward play to try to end the inning. And instead, the nightmare top 7th continues for Engel King.
So Korotnik will come to the plate here, bat from the left side. He has a good bat. Things can change on an instant. I mean, on a dime.
Talk about your all-time flip of the scripts here.
I guess. Still not over, though. Guerin will get another chance.
Guerin will get one chance to answer, indeed, in the bottom half.
And again, we saw for Brebeuf, Sam Reid come on in relief. Starting pitcher Andrew Kochnick's in the last inning. Engel King getting a little bit of a pep talk there.
Lewandowski coming over.
Come on. 2 down. 4 runs in. Incredible.
Lewandowski behind on the count. He deals strike after the pep talk from Lewandowski. And now
Brebeuf would love to get a base hit here and get that additional run in from second.
Engel King deals and it's fouled back to push the count back even.
Again, he's made good contact each time he's been to the plate today. Has a really good idea as to what he wants to do.
Roknic waits. Try to get him to chase. That one outside. Count full.
Wow. Huge pitch coming here.
We talk about how potent Guerin Catholic's offense is. Braves could add another run here. Oh, boy. The deal by Angle King. No, it did not hit. That'll be another walk.
What do you say there? Good eye, good eye.
Exactly. All around from the rebuff dugout.
That's going to be it, maybe. We're going to see if we'll get a pitching change here. Again, the inning began with 2 outs, Jimmy, and you thought perhaps that Guerin Catholic was getting ready to skate into the championship game tonight against Ron Colley, and all of a sudden a couple of walks, a hit batsman, and a home run. And now we'll get another pitching change here.
Yep, and it should be noted that we talked about that last outing for, the last outing that I've seen of Guerin Catholic, and Angle King was featured in that contest back on May the 8th here at Ron Colley against the Rebels. Angle King did end up getting pulled in that contest. Didn't expect to see that again in the fashion he was brought in today. Nevertheless, Guerin Catholic forced to go deeper into their bullpen.
Bingman will get the call now. Another right-hander and a sophomore to try to put this fire out.
What a fire it's been. 4 runs in this top half of the 7th inning.
And the kind of shock that it delivered to the bench for Guerin Catholic was so ever present after that 3-run blast by Wright. Got the game tied, and now still threatening here in the top half of the 7th. Terrific matchup today between these two who split during the season, home and home. So we'll see if Bingman can get out of this jam. More changes being made. We'll get those for you in just a moment. Again, our thanks to all of our sponsors for being here today as well as throughout the season. The Morales Group, Logan Street Signs, McIntyre Imaging, Noblesville Trophies, College Hunts and Movers, Berkner Electric, Aspen Creek Grill, and the Morales Group. Can't do it without you. Again, Ron Colley earlier today reaching the championship game by defeating Chittard 8-1. So, Jimmy, what should we look for here in terms of another relief pitcher?
Well, some interesting more stats and tidbits handed to us by the Ron Colley staff here. It should be noted, and I had forgotten this as well, before the tying hit by Gabe Wright, the tying home run, Pickett was in a 1-2 count before he was hit by the pitch.
Wow.
They were a strike away from this being a completely different scenario. Instead, we get the first pitch strike delivered there by Bingman. We send Braden Reel, who's in left field, over to third base, and then Max Engelking is going to shift over to right field.
And more times than often, even when you are ahead in the count like that for pitchers, it still can be a very difficult challenge, and that's what's happened here in this inning. It's the most impossible led into possible.
From that hit by pitch moment, everything went downhill from there, as there is a chopper hit over to third, mishandled, going to be tough play. No, he's safe, they say.
Whoa, that was close.
A diving play by Guerin Catholic. Looks like from our vantage point, they might have beat the runner. But
he dived right out. You got a good look at it on the screen there on our SRN. And I was going to get a replay on it and take another look, but here it comes. What do you think? Close.
Very close.
Now the umpire's position, he could have been shielded from the most perfect position, but the bases are loaded, Jimmy.
And Danny Kirk, new batter number 20 for the Braves. He has no hits on the season for himself and 2 strikeouts.
So Kirk comes to the plate, another sophomore on this team, and big opportunity for him to try to get another insurance run in. Swing and a miss.
Kirk, this is only his 3rd at bat of the season.
Wow. Being a little bit outside on that pitch, and he's a quick worker, though.
Does not mess around. Not a lot of time in between pitches. That one's fouled up first base side out of play. Runners will head back to first and second respectively. Runners will head back to with the bases loaded after that tough call for Guerin Catholic. Like that.
Some of our viewers, Jimmy, that may have tuned in with those 2 outs and no one on, that may have gone to get themselves another refreshment, talk to some of their families. They come back. What happened?
You look back at this ball game, it was a 1-2 count for Angle King facing Pickett, and he hit him. It put runners on first and second, brought Gabe Wright, who had 4 home runs, to his credit, the leading home run hitter, as runners go, but it's a strikeout to end the inning. So anyway, as we mentioned, after the hit batsman, it would be Wright hitting it all the way into center field, and then another run also added on by the Braves as well to take a 6-5 advantage heading into the bottom half of this. Guerin Catholic, one of the most potent offenses in the Circle City Conference. Do they have 1, maybe 2 more runs in them? We'll find out after this. You're watching the Circle City Conference Tournament on Indiana SRN.
Hello, my name is Sean Kroll, and I've been a part of the Indiana SRN family for the last 9 years. Last year, we streamed a record 326 sporting events around Central Indiana. All the other guys broadcast basketball and football, but we at Indiana SRN also air volleyball, softball, baseball, and even golf. But we need your help. To continue our mission, please help us by contacting Coach at indianasrn.org. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Back here at Circle City Conference semifinals for the great state of Indiana on the campus of Roncalli High School in Indianapolis. It's been a beautiful day for baseball. 2 hours and 25 minutes. And Jimmy, that last inning took us 25 minutes, but what was the result?
The result is the result is on pace for potentially extra innings if Guerin Catholic had put on a run, but the main result at the end of the day was the Braves suddenly doing a full 180 on this script. Max Engelking 1 strike away from ending the game. Had multiple opportunities to try to close things out. Instead, the Braves get a 3-run shot from Gabe Wright, his 5th homer of the season, and they add on 1 more for good measure. His first pitch popped up into the infield, leading for out number 1. That 4th run, by the way, for the Braves in that 7th inning, obviously giving them the 6-5 advantage right now. And suddenly, remarkably, the 13-12-1 Brebeuf Braves are 2 outs away from a date with Roncalli this evening for the Circle City Conference postseason title. Stepping in for the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles is the 3rd baseman now, Braden Reel. Started in left, now over to 3rd. It's behind 0-1. Reid deals. Ball inside. Count 1-1.
So Sam Reid, if he can finish things off, will stand in the way of Guerin Catholic and be awarded with a winning pitcher today, but still 2 more outs to go.
The freshman baton pass from Buchanich to Reid. Swing and a miss. That one tight inside and swinging for the fences there was Reel.
Really handcuffed him on that pitch, so 2-2.
Reid deals outside, pushes it full. So much like we were saying that Brebeuf was begging for a base runner, Golden Eagles suddenly in that similar position. Doesn't matter how you get on, just need to get somebody on first to try to extend this game. Reid deals full, a chopper hit over to 3rd. Throw is high, and it gets away. It'll lead to a double for the Golden Eagles. So just like that, a runner in scoring position. High throw from Maroknik to Bauer. And they're going to say that Bauer impeded the progress, they'll say, of
oh my, this is going to create a big
Real,
discussion
and it's
here.
going to get an extra base out of it. And it looked like it live as well that Bauer had kind of held back, incidental or not, the running progress of Real, and so they'll get an extra base out of it.
Well, it is the correct call, though.
Yep.
There's no doubt in my mind as to what happened there and what developed. And Guerin Catholic knew immediately that that was going to be the call. So immediately he came to third base, and now Guerin has something going.
Yep. Hard to say if it was intentional or not, but either way, he impeded the progress, did Bauer of Real.
Yep.
So 90 feet away from tying this game are the Golden Eagles.
Well, as high of a ball that was hit there in the infield would have almost behooved him to just hang on to it and not make that throw.
Yep.
So going to get another mound visit here with Coach coming out to discuss things.
And that's another thing, Steve, that goes back to the youth on display here for Brebeuf. There's going to be moments where impressive marks happen. You're like, wow, there's these young guys doing that. There's going to be moments where mistakes happen where it's like, it's going to come with age, and you're right. Maybe better just to hang on to that one instead of trying to make the tough play.
Well, it's such a difficult position to field there at third base at the hot corner. And, again, the ball was hit high in the air. It bounced extremely high he had to kind of wait for it to come down, and then kind of made an overhead throw on the wrong foot, too.
Yep.
So that created even bigger difficulties, and that's why it went over the head of the first baseman. So
well, we've seen mistakes left and right by both these relief pitchers.
Yep.
The hit by pitch on the end of Angle King, and now the play here by Reid.
Mound visit is over, and Reid will go back to work here. And again, right here, Jimmy, all the focus is on the batter.
Yep. And slight correction of my last statement. Both defenses have had issues with the high throw there by Maroknik. Reid ready to deal. Strike.
Pitch.
Behind now 0-2 is Angle King. How about this? Max trying to rewrite his errors.
Yep.
0-2. Inside.
Right under his left elbow.
Try to jam in Angle King.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Short lead off third. Reid deals.
Oh my,
what a stop there
savior
by Farlander.
The savior.
Man. Great awareness there by Farlander. Count out 2-2. Reid deals. Strike 3. Got him looking.
Oh, my.
1 out away. What a delivery there by Sam Reid.
Angle King way hanging out over the plate, wishing for a ball, but that is a huge strikeout. So 2 down in the inning.
Sam Lewandowski, the first baseman now. Last hope for Guerin Catholic. They're down to the final out. First pitch ball.
Now here's a situation for Sam Reid now with 2 down to make sure that he is pitching at his own pace. He doesn't want to hurry.
Yep. No rush. That's at his time. Is swing and a miss there by Lewandowski. Reid deals.
Oh boy.
That one popped up into shallow center. Got to have good communication. Play is made. Ball game over. Braves win by a final of 6-5. Well, Brebeuf had themselves down to their final out a couple of times. It all goes back to that top of the 7th inning when Andrew Pickett was in a 1-2 hole. He was hit by a pitch. It put runners on first and second. And Gabe Wright, who had 4 home runs on the year coming into this ball game in his 69th plate appearance, able to slam home a 3-run shot. And another run scored as well in that inning by Brebeuf to take a 6-5 lead and give a tip of the cap to the freshman, Max Reid, receiving the baton pass from freshman Duke Koenich to put a bow on this one for the Braves and give them a huge upset. But not only that, a date with Ron Colley for the Circle City Conference postseason title this evening.
Jimmy, the smiles on these players for Brebeuf tell the entire story, and the game is never over until it's over. I think Yogi Berra said that, but let's take a look at the line on this game today. I mean, it was close from start to finish for the winning Brebeuf Braves, who will go to 14-12-1 on the season. 6 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors and 6 left on base. And for Guerin Catholic, who will drop to 17-5 on the season, 5 runs on 8 hits and 1 error and 5 left on base. Couldn't get much closer.
No, it couldn't, and couldn't be more of an exciting contest to start Indiana SRN's coverage of the Circle City Conference tournament throughout the day today. I tell you what, you said it ain't over till it's over, as the great Yogi Berra once said. But all that being said, I don't know that I saw this coming for the Braves, as dominant as Guerin Catholic looked through 6.5 innings of play.
I'm sure that Ron Colley is saying the same things to themselves now, knowing that Brebeuf will be their opponent tonight in this 7:15 matchup here back at Ron Colley. They'll get this field back in working order, and the third game of the day will have Covenant Christian coming on to play Heritage Christian. But we are the beneficiaries, Jimmy, of a tremendous, tremendous game today.
Absolutely. The Rebels able to host now the Braves in the championship contest this evening. And it should be noted, one last point there, Steve, to build off of your mention of the Braves able to move through. Even though the Rebels are getting a young, slightly less experienced team in the Braves, you cannot sleep on them.
No.
Because you saw what happened to Guerin Catholic when it looked like everything was in the bag. They blinked twice, and suddenly it's Brebeuf moving on instead to take on Ron Colley this evening. And first pitch time again for that.
It'll be 7:15 tonight. We saw the adrenaline level for Brebeuf in that final inning go from 0 to 100 after that home run, and that's the way games are won. But yeah, like I said, it's like Christmas for us to watch a game like that.
Truly an amazing thing indeed. Well, that'll about wrap it up for this semifinal contest. Again, we'll be back this evening for the championship game of the Circle City Conference Tournament. My partner Steve McClure will have that one. Want to thank our producer this afternoon, Jerry Collins, the great Teresa Coker, manning the camera on top of the dugout on third base side. For everyone else involved in this production of Indiana SRN broadcasts, again, your final, the Brebeuf Braves 6, Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles 5. Thanks so much for joining us, and stay tuned for more Circle City Conference tournament action later this evening on Indiana SRN.